It's Thanksgiving, and Montgomery, Alabama is the site of the oldest football classic among historically black colleges and universities, as families and friends from Alabama State and Tuskegee University gather for another time-honored tradition, the Turkey Day Classic. Alabama State. The Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama is the site of the annual Turkey Day Classic as Alabama State celebrates homecoming and Thanksgiving hosting Tuskegee University. Now, the series between these two schools began in 1901, and not only does Tuskegee lead the series, but the Golden Tigers have won 7 of the last 9 contests, including a 10-point victory a year ago. Hello, everyone. Charlie Neal, along with my partner, Eddie Robinson, and welcome to Montgomery, Alabama, and happy Thanksgiving to you and yours. And, Eddie, you know how big this game is for both of these squads. You played in this game 4 years as a member of the Alabama State squad. How big is it?
It's a really big game. Of course, it's Alabama State's homecoming, so they really want to win this game. However, Tuskegee University is only 45 miles away, so they know the importance of the Turkey Day Classic also.
And you talk about the story of this game. It's the story of 2 quarterbacks, starting with Kevin Huff, the quarterback from Tuskegee University.
Yes, I really like Kevin Huff. He comes into the game with 13 passing touchdowns, 11 rushing touchdowns. He's only a junior, so he'll be back next year for Coach Comegys, and he's the 2005 SIAC MVP player. Of course, you have Tavares Jackson from Alabama State University, who also prepped here in high school. He went to Silly Lanier. He played his games here at Crampton Bowl in high school. Now in college, he'll like nothing more than to finish off his college career with a big showing in the Turkey Day Classic in front of his hometown fans.
And the only thing better than turkey on Thanksgiving Day is college football, and we'll be bringing it to you from Montgomery, Alabama. It's the Turkey Day Classic, Tuskegee and Alabama State, opening kickoff when we return. Here in Montgomery, Alabama, temperature perfect and a great crowd on hand for this annual Turkey Day Classic. Tuskegee University against Alabama State University, and the third member of our broadcast team is Jay Walker down on the sideline. Let's go down to Jay with more on this series.
Well, Charlie, you noted the long, storied history of this classic game. It's transcended many barriers as well. You see, this game started out with only 8,000 fans the first year. Over the past several years, it's averaged over 30,000 fans in a 25,000-seat stadium. But also, it also serves as Alabama State's homecoming, as Eddie alluded to earlier. And when the game was founded in 1924 by Cliff Green and William Crampton, they were some pioneers as well. They transcended racial barriers because they were 2 local white businessmen that decided to support black college athletics. What a story, guys. Back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Jay. And I'll tell you, Eddie, you know a lot about this. Like we said earlier, you played in this game, and it means a lot to both of these schools. And especially you look at Rick Comegys in his 10th season as the head coach. He's done a fantastic job over the years, especially in this classic.
Yes, Rick Comegys has been just a really good coach, not just here at Tuskegee, but also in prior engagements as coaches. And Coach Cole, he's the local coach here at Alabama State. You can see in only 3 years, he's had 24-11 record. He's the fastest coach to 20 victories in Alabama State's history.
There you're looking at Mr. Peck, Jay Peck, as Alabama State will get the opening kickoff. It comes down to Peck at the 6-yard line. Peck trying to get to the right side. Peck going across the 20, 25, and down at the 27-yard line goes Jay Peck, the sophomore from Columbus, Ohio. A stop made by Akron for Tuskegee. Tuskegee in their white jerseys. The gold jerseys being worn by Alabama State. Tavares Jackson is the quarterback from Montgomery, Alabama, local kid from Lanier High, playing in his last collegiate game, as Eddie alluded to earlier, played high school ball here in this particular stadium and matriculated eventually to Alabama State. Keldrick Williams is the running back of record, who does a great job for the Alabama State Hornets. Jackson wants to throw on first down, a little pump fake. Alvance Robinson is out there, but it's overthrown. That's who he's looking for, his favorite receiver, Alvance Robinson, who came into the game with 58 receptions. The offensive line for the Hornets of Alabama State. They have a good group of guys, some young faces up front, with Desmond Wilczewski, the tight end. There's Alvance Robinson, the receiver, along with Chris Maddox. The running backs, the fullback is Carter, and Keldrick Williams, we alluded to, is the running back in the offensive line of Hall, Hill, Beneby, Warwick, and Hatton. It is 2nd down and 10 for the Hornets. Keldrick Williams stopped immediately. Nowhere to run for Mr. Williams. The hole filled. Albert Booker, the linebacker, was the first man to make the stop defensively. Also got some help there from Johnny Williams. Let's look at the defensive line. Johnny Williams, Atron Jackson, along with Putney and Abdui Muhammad. The linebackers, Albert Booker, Torres Mosley, and the middle linebackers, Marcus Wright. You see the secondary of Dickerson, Harris, Smith, and Durham. It is 3rd and 12. The pass, and it's caught at midfield stripe for a first down, and it's Al Vance Robinson on the reception covering Ramon Nickerson downfield.
Of course, that was just a great throw by Tavares Jackson on the corner route. Al Vance Robinson, his favorite receiver. They said one guy short. Al Vance runs a deeper corner, and he's running away from the leverage of the safety. Good throw and catch by Tavares Jackson.
26 yards on the catch by Tavares. Or make that by Al Vance Robinson on the pass from Tavares Jackson.
Tavares is good, but he can't throw it and catch it.
No, he's not that quick, huh? From the shotgun, Keldrick Williams up the gut, and Keldrick Williams is inside the 40 to the 39-yard line, very close to another first down for Alabama State.
This is just an inside draw, something that Alabama State's going to do a lot of. And they'll also fake that draw and have pass plays off that also. Keldrick Williams, he can really control the game with their rushing attack. Want to take some of the pressure off of Tavares Jackson today. First down
is gained after the run by Tavares Jackson. You see the stats on him. 5'9", 200-pounder. And he is also from Lanier High here in Montgomery. Just getting underway. First drive of the ball game from the shotgun. Keldrick Williams again has it, and he is stood up in the hole. Looks like Atron Jackson was one of the men that hit him, along with Johnny Williams, the big senior at 290 pounds out of West High, and making Georgia first team all SIAC selection in the preseason.
Yeah, big Johnny Williams just making plays up there. He has 36 total tackles on the year. Pretty good for a big guy, able to stretch the field and get outside the box and still make some tackles.
One of 3 first-team all SIAC selections on the defensive side of the ball or 2 first-team selections on the defensive side of the ball for Tuskegee. From the shotgun, it is 2nd down and 8. Jackson on the screen to Keldrick Williams, and Keldrick Williams cannot get going because he's hit immediately by Atron Jackson out of Columbus, Georgia, 2nd-team all-conference selection this year.
Yeah, Atron really read that screen. Alabama State has an extremely good screen game, and you can see what they do here. They start Keldrick Williams on the right side of the offense, and he crosses the center. That's always pretty tough when you have guys like that. And I give Atron Jackson credit for getting out on the edge. I mean, that's a big guy who's running a long way, and then whenever you make that tackle in space, it's always a real good job.
They lost 2 on the play. It'll be 3rd and 10. From the gun, Jackson with plenty of time slips down. Now he lets it go, and it's going to be out of bounds, incomplete on the far sideline. Closest man to it offensively was Brandon Harris. He was being covered by Lee Smith out there. So it'll bring up a 4th down situation. The ball right inside the 40 at about the 39. Maybe a little too far for a field goal. It would be about a 56-yard field goal attempt. So that'll bring on the punting team for Alabama State. And that is Anthony Johnson back to do the punting. Anthony Johnson as a punter averaging just about 35 yards per punt. High snap. High kick. Bounces into the end zone. Special teams couldn't save it. There's a timeout on the field. No score. 11:31 remaining. And when we come back, we'll see the Golden Tigers of Tuskegee. They'll have the ball for the first time today.
Local and long distance.
Thanksgiving Day, the 82nd Turkey Day Classic. Charlie Neal along with Eddie Robinson and Jay Walker here. It is 1st down and 10. Tuskegee getting the ball for the first time as you look at Kevin Huff. the junior from Tampa, Florida, an accounting major, getting his team set on 1st down and 10. Fitzhugh is their big man, but he wants to go to the air on 1st down and 10 on the near side, and he has it complete to Russell. Calvin Russell across the 40, all the way up to the 43, 44-yard line, a gain of 24 for Tuskegee. And let's look at the backs and receivers with Fitzhugh along with Deshaun Green in the backfield. Eric Argobofa is the tight end, along with Kenneth Henderson, a good one, and Lorenzo Crawford at the wide receiver spots. The offensive line, Robert Bailey is in the middle, Takarius Ray and Anthony Driver are the guards, and Anthony Bray along with Emmanuel Lewis are the offensive tackles. It is 1st and 10 at the 44. This time Fitzhugh, and he managed to struggle forward for about 2 yards before he's met by a number of gold jerseys there. Let's look at the defense for Alabama State. Ian Kinsey, Jamal Johnson, the down tackles, along with Charles Parham and Kerry Frazier at the ends. Billy Gresham, a good one in the middle at linebacker, along with Marcellus Moss and Chris Dupuis. The secondary, Desmond Foster, Bobby Coleman, Demetrius Derrico, and Bobby Coleman. Well, Bobby Coleman was there twice. Should be Jimmy Toussaint. Coleman was there twice. He's played 2 positions today. He's pretty good, isn't he?
Good guy.
It is pass play, and it's complete. And coming up is Javar Winston with the reception, and he gets a 1st down for Tuskegee all the way down to the 41-yard line before Marcellus Moss made the stop.
Real good protection for Kevin Huff. He's able to step into that throw and follow through. Javal Winston trying to make something happen after the catch. Just a good throw and catch by Tuskegee as they move down the field. And so far, Kevin Huff is looking really efficient.
Rick Comedy's 10th year, 14th overall as a head coach. Had just 2 losing seasons here at Tuskegee, and that was in '96 and '03. Both of those years, the team went 5-6.
That Coach Comedy's has just done a great job. I mean, he's going, well, this is his 10th year here at Tuskegee, and he's just been a real good coach, been around coaching for a long time at Central State also, and has really put Tuskegee back on the map. A real historical program who's always, traditionally had some really good teams, and he's doing a good job.
Well, let's go down to Jay. Jay?
Well, we talked about we're going to watch 2 of the best quarterbacks in all of black college football. And with no offense to Brody Croyle down at the University of Alabama, but I talked to both quarterbacks during the week, and they thought that they were playing for the best quarterback in the state of Alabama. And I think they might be right, because prior to game time, there were many NFL scouts here from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well as the Kansas City Chiefs to see these 2 young men throw the football.
And they can throw it, believe it or not. Mr. Huff threw for 2,389 yards this year. And the man you're looking at there, Tavares Jackson, threw for 2,801 coming into the game. And Mr. Huff has another game after this one. This team will play Bowie State in the Pioneer Bowl in Charlotte, North Carolina, a week from this Saturday. So let's put up the numbers. Straight ahead is Fitzhugh. And Fitzhugh, young man out of Washington, D.C., gains yards all the way down to about the 37 before Derrico made the stop defensively for Alabama State.
Here you see a 2nd down, and Alabama State, their defense, they've slipped a little bit the last couple of games, of course, with the 3 losses. So they just really need to try to keep Tuskegee in front of them. They've been giving up a lot of big plays, a lot of big runs. They just want to make Tuskegee be patient, make them run 10 or 12 plays if they're able to score.
It is 2nd down. Again, Fitzhugh trying to get to the 1st down marker. He's going to be about a yard shy. He's going to have to get to about the 32. He stopped at the 33 as Marcelino Moss made the stop. As you look at Alabama State, located here in Montgomery with over 5,500 students enrolled. It was founded in 1874, and they are a member of the Southwestern Athletic Conference there at one time. In fact, when you were playing, they were members of the SIAC. No, before you got, they were there before you got there. By the time you got there, it was SWAC players, weren't they?
Of course.
Okay, well, you would say that. They were a member of the SIAC, though, at one time, and the 1st down is gained by Fitzhugh. Fitzhugh, sophomore out of D.C.'s Woodson High. came into the game with 804 yards and 7 touchdowns.
They're a downhill run. You can see what they're doing. They're pulling big Anthony Driver, big number 61. He's coming around just basically a lead O, where the backside offensive guard comes and leads into the hole with the fullback. Fitzhugh, a downhill runner. He doesn't get a lot of attempts to run because of all of the passing with Kevin Huff, but he's a guy who's very accomplished, has, like you said, 804 yards on the season coming into this game.
So it's first down at 10, and now the quarterback on the option rolled right in to the defense, and it was Tyler Thompson who was there defensively to make the stop and making sure that the young man at quarterback didn't go anywhere.
And this play looked like it was a designed quarterback sweep is what they're trying to run. And Tyler Thompson just gets upfield and doesn't let the quarterback get around to the corner. Tyler Thompson is a small guy. I mean, he's only listed at 6 feet, 225 pounds, a sophomore. So he's one of those guys that developing, getting some playing time, more of a speed rusher, not a real big guy. So he plays on the edge and has the speed to get up the field.
So they lose yards, about 7 on that play. Make it 8. It's second and 18. This one is overthrown down the far sideline. Again, Calvin Russell, the intended receiver out of Fairborn, Georgia, went to Ben Mays High. And he can fly. He's on the track and field team, preseason second team, all SIAC.
Trying to squeeze this in between the corner and the safety. You see the safety is coming over the top. They had a small window, but Calvin Russell wasn't able to stretch out and pick up the pass from Kevin Huff.
9th play of the drive that started at their own 20. Down to the 37-yard line of Alabama State. 3rd and 18. Stepping up in the pocket. Quarterback in trouble. Gets out. Still on his feet and stretches forward to about the 27, 28-yard line before Derrico made the stop. He's still going to be about 10 yards shy of a first down. It'll be fourth and 10.
You see the ability of Kevin Huff to be a runner once the play breaks down. I mean, he has 801 yards coming into the season. Derrico real fortunate to make that tackle, because if he can break that tackle from Derrico, he has enough room to possibly get that first down.
Field goal of 45 yards this time is being attempted by Roosevelt Echeverry, who's only missed one all season long. He's 11 of 12. It's up. It's got the distance, and it is good. And we have our first score of the ball game, 3-0. Tuskegee jumps out in front. 6:37 to go. A 45-yard field goal. We'll be back. ESPNU College Football, brought to you by Allstate, a proud sponsor of the Bowl Championship Series. Crowd still filing into the Crampton Bowl here on Thanksgiving Day in Montgomery, Alabama, as Tuskegee has taken the 3-0 lead on Roosevelt Echeverry's longest field goal for him this season. His previous was 42 yards, and that was against Morehouse, and he just hit a 45-yard, and he's kicking off right now. Deep man of Peck. And Foster comes down to Peck at about the 12. Peck across the 25 and dropped to the 30, and that's where Alabama State, or is that Everett? Everett on the return that time. Everett brings it back to the 30. And that's where Alabama State will get the ball for the second time this afternoon. First down and 10. Compared to the weather we saw earlier in an earlier game in Akron, Ohio, we're living pretty good, aren't we?
Yeah, Montgomery, Alabama, great day. Of course, they have the Turkey Day Classic Parade also today, so had great weather for that parade, and just a real good family atmosphere here in Montgomery, Alabama today.
Keldrick Williams off the right side into the secondary. Keldrick Williams still on the go. Keldrick Williams pulling away and dropped inside the 30 at about the 27-yard line. Keldrick Williams run down from behind by Harris, Jonathan Harris, along with Durham, Robert Durham on the stop. 43 yards.
And this is a lead off the weak side and just excellent blocking up front. There's 3 freshmen starting on the offensive line. Of course, now those guys have their legs up under them. Keldrick Williams is able to go straight downhill. The only knock by the NFL scouts on Keldrick Williams is his top-end speed. And you can see right there, he had a hole and was still caught from behind.
Yeah, he can't pull away. That's like you said, if there's anything negative about him, is should say the quarterback, Tavares Jackson, keeps it for about 2 yards down to the 25. Mohammed down to Jay for an update. Jay?
You talk about Keldrick Williams. You mentioned earlier, Eddie, that Tavares Jackson went to high school here locally. Well, so did Keldrick Williams. As a matter of fact, Keldrick Williams, Billy Gresham, and Tavares Jackson all went to Lanier High School here in Montgomery, Alabama. They're all seniors, so you knew that all 3 would play well today.
And, of course, Gresham was the only one that came to Alabama State right out of high school. The other 2 decided to try their wear somewhere else. So the pass is complete on the far sideline to Al Vance Robinson, who stopped by Lee Smith immediately.
Yeah, of course, you have Tavares Jackson, who transferred from the University of Arkansas, and Keldrick Williams, he transferred from the University of Tennessee. So, I mean, a situation where they had other players in front of them, and they came back home to Alabama State. Of course, everybody's going to welcome those type of players, and they've been really productive on the field over the past 3 years.
Billy Gresham, I think, was responsible for them coming back because they've been together since, what, junior Pee-wee ball, I believe.
Since Pee-wee, yes. And Silly Lanier, I mean, their band actually performed before the game, and they played a lot of their home games here at Crampton Bowl.
Quarterback decides to keep it on 3rd and short, and Tavares Jackson takes it straight ahead and gains the first down for Alabama State. They move the chains, and they're in the red zone right now, where they were ranked number 1 in the SWAC in red zone offense. They were 31 of 35, 88%. They scored 24 of their 44 touchdowns this year in the red zone.
Right, that's great. I mean, that's what you want at any level. Once you get inside that 20-yard line, you have to punch the ball in for touchdowns first. But then if not, you still want to convert your field goals. You don't want to come away with no points.
Keldrick Williams. Let's go down to Jay.
You know, if you take a look at the defensive line for Tuskegee, it's kind of unique. Out of the 4 down linemen, none of them get down in the 3-point stance. They all assume a 2-point stance, which means they keep their hands on their knees, and they actually just come out and read the offensive lineman. A lot of teams fall into the trap of trying to run directly at them, but when you've got quick linebackers posing as defensive ends, they've got the reaction speed to react off of the slower offensive linemen, and they're pretty tough to run against.
And you're talking about like Albert Booker, Marcus Wright, and Torrance Mosley. Gregory Green is the defensive coordinator and does a great job with Tuskegee. Jackson is back to pass, and he is going to be trapped behind the line of scrimmage. Manages to lose about a yard after he falls forward to about the 14.
Yeah, Jackson just didn't like anything that he saw downfield. So, I mean, he did the right thing. You don't want to get a turnover inside the red zone. In some kind of way, he was able to snake away and get back close to the line of scrimmage, which looked like he should have lost about 5 yards on that play.
And he lost 1, making it a 3rd and 9 situation from the 14-yard line. Second drive for Alabama State today. We're in the first quarter. Shotgun. The pass incomplete. On the near side, the intended receiver was Chris Maddox, the senior from Columbus, Mississippi. So to bring up a 4th down situation, and they've had their problems, that is Alabama State, with the kicking game, especially in the PAT department this year. And let's see who they bring on to attempt this field goal. Is it going to be Billings or Anthony Johnson? It's going to be Anthony Johnson. He is perfect in the field goal department now.
But he doesn't have a holder.
He doesn't have a holder. He's going to have to call a timeout.
He can drop kick it.
He's got a long snapper, but he doesn't have anybody to hold it for him. Maybe he could figure out, maybe this is something new. They've got this new thing where the center bounces the ball in place and he kicks it while it's in the air.
I don't know if they want to try that today, but you know, we talked with Coach Comegys, and they had a situation where they had 3 or 4 penalties because of improper substitution on special teams. So that was something he was really emphasizing, and now you see it bites Alabama State also, where you have to burn a timeout because you don't have enough people in the special teams play.
Well, back in 1977 when these two teams played, Alabama State came out victorious. Jeffrey Morgan comes up with a touchdown reception right here for Alabama State, out jumping the defenders. And then Larry Boykin seals it with a game-ending tackle right here on the Tuskegee quarterback as Alabama State went on to win that one 13-7. That goes all the way back to 1977. That was before your time, too. Right?
That was before my time. But a lot of great tradition, a lot of great rivalry between both teams. The schools are so close. A lot of these players play against each other in high school or went to the same high schools. So it's just a lot of bad blood on Turkey Day.
It certainly is. And all the way down to the Tuskegee 14. And now the point after, or I should say the field goal attempt. And this one is good by Anthony Johnson. He is perfect this year in field goals, 11-11. Although he struggled in PATs, 36-42. But we'll be back. 7, make it 3-3.
Thymic disorder.
Tuskegee at Alabama State, Crampton Bowl, the official souvenir program. We go back in time and see some of the things that happened back in 1924. If you remember, bread was only 6 cents a loaf, 9 cents a quart for milk, eggs 49 cents a dozen, and coffee 43 cents a pound. And they didn't even have fuel then, gasoline, did they?
That's my next question. What's the price of gas? You know, I drive an SUV.
You wouldn't have driven one back then.
Horse and buggy, maybe?
Yeah, maybe a horse and buggy. Tuskegee on the return. Kenneth Henderson, very dangerous return man for Tuskegee. Came back averaging 15 yards per return. And who was the president back in 1924? Calvin Coolidge. Macy's first parade on Thanksgiving Day occurred back in 1924. The Cleveland Bulldogs won the NFL title. They were the Washington Senators winning the World Series, and the Montreal Canadiens won the second ever Stanley Cup. There you're looking at the quarterback, Tavares Jackson. Very potent quarterback, one of the leading candidates for Player of the Year in the SWAC. Bruce Eugene might have something to say about that over Grambling, though. It is first down and 10. Now we have our flag. I believe it's the first penalty in the ball game. We've got a delay of game against Tuskegee. Second possession for Tuskegee. First one started at their own 20. They were stopped at the 29 of Alabama State, where Echeverry kicked a 45-yard field goal. As you saw a shot of Charles Coe, two-time Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year finalist in the SWAC. And here's Kevin Huff. And Huff across the 25 to the 26, a gain of 6, where it'll be second down and 9. Jamal Johnson on the stop.
And you see a lot of these type of plays. They feel that Kevin Huff is also another running back in the backfield, and he comes into the game with 801 rushing yards this year and also 11 touchdowns on the ground. So that's just an added dimension, and the Alabama State defense has to be prepared for a quarterback who has designed running plays set up for him.
He was a candidate earlier in the year for the Harlan Hill Trophy, which went to the MVP of Division II. There's an option to the left side. Fitzhugh has the pitch. Fitzhugh has the first down, and Fitzhugh still on his feet, and Fitzhugh is up to the 43-yard line. Fitzhugh on the run, Richard Fitzhugh. That one was good for 17 yards before Travis Rayford corralled him.
Yeah, good, well-designed play. What they're doing here is called a speed option. They're just attacking the defensive end for Alabama State, knowing that you have good blocking on the perimeter and forcing him to make a decision. Do you take the quarterback, Kevin Huff, or do you take the running back, Richard Fitzhugh? Either way you go, someone's going to be free.
From the shotgun on first and 10, Fitzhugh straight into the line, spins back to the left side, and finally brought down by one of the linebackers for Alabama State. That was Kerry Frazier on the stop defensively. Or was it Tyler Thompson? Tyler Thompson, 59.
In Alabama State, they can be patient defensively. I mean, they want to play a bend but don't break type of defense. It doesn't matter if Tuskegee rolls up yards or goes up and down the field, but they just want to be able to get firm when Tuskegee gets in the scoring area of the football field. And they don't want to give up a big play.
Second down. By the left side. And close to the first down marker. Again, they're running Fitzhugh. Fitzhugh's been the workhorse in the running game, but we have a penalty flag down at Woodson High up in Washington, D.C. Mr. Fitzhugh gained 2,300 yards, scored 30 touchdowns in his junior and senior year combined.
Fitzhugh is running today like he has something to prove.
Keith Moore
Tuskegee been penalized 5.
is our referee. Let's go down to Jay.
You talk about Richard Fitzhugh from Washington, D.C. Well, coming out of high school, he was a late qualifier. He got highly recruited by the University of Maryland as well as North Carolina State. But he passed his SAT score a little bit late and didn't qualify academically. So he went down to Tuskegee University. And when you go to school in Washington, D.C., you're considered an in-state resident throughout the country. So he managed to get kind of a scholarship and plenty of Pell Grant money and financial aid. And I think Commodores and staff were real happy. They found a diamond in the rough. And Richard Fitzhugh, the running back from Tuskegee.
All right. And that pass goes incomplete. Came very close to being intercepted. That was a 2nd and 10 play. And it came off the hands of the offensive player, and defense had a chance.
And of course, when you start putting pressure on the quarterback, he gets a little antsy, a little happy feet. You can see Kevin Huff somewhat indecisive as far as he's going to run or going to pass. And he had an open receiver, but just couldn't get control of that pass. A lot of that has to do with the pressure from Alabama State. You don't always have to get a sack, but if you can get pressure, make that quarterback feel uncomfortable, you can also have some success downfield when he tries to throw that ball.
Sean Bailey a little too short to get that one. He's only listed at 5'8". Here's another pass by Huff. Down the middle is open. It's Henderson. He has it inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. Kenneth Henderson, or is that Henderson? No, that's not Kenneth Henderson. That's number 23 on the reception, and that is John Thomas.
And you can see the difference between just one play. Kevin Huff has time to step through, follow through on that throw. He's able to throw a strike right down the seam. They're trying to run a cover 2. Of course, the weakness is the deep middle of the field. And if you have a quarterback with the arm strength like Kevin Huff, he can get that ball in between the tight coverage of the safeties.
Thomas wearing 23 there on the reception. Here's a high snap, and here's a quarterback. Huff spins and down at the 21. He is tackled. Deion Lewis on the stop defensively, and that's probably the last play of the first quarter. So a pair of field goals, a couple of long runs. Keldrick Williams was in on part of the action. And we're all tied at 3 as we get ready to start the second quarter. This annual Turkey Day Classic from Montgomery, Alabama. See some of the covers from the programs, 1935, 62, and 75. Homecoming here at Alabama State. And now in 2005, another great crowd on hand. From second down, from the shotgun, quarterback decides to take off and run inside the 10. Down to the 5-yard line goes Mr. Huff. Kevin Huff, the accounting major, and the MVP of the SIAC this year, 17 yards, and he gives his team a 1st and goal at the 4.
Great protection up front, but I mean, he sees that green grass in front of him. Alabama State defenders are sinking back into the end zone. He does the next best thing with a quarterback who can run like that. It's always a good decision when he decides to run.
This year, 11 touchdowns on the ground, number 2 runner on this Tuskegee squad. This time, Fitzhugh has it, and he doesn't get going as the defensive line collapsed immediately, led by Billy Gresham. Number 53, Gresham, senior from here. SWAC number 1 in forced fumbles. And there you see an update on what's going on in this game so far. Passing yards and total yards. Tuskegee has the edge there. It is second down and goal. Fitzhugh again. And Fitzhugh is submarine. At the bottom of the pile, Marcelino Moss.
And keep in mind that Alabama State has had a lot of injuries on that defensive line. They came into the game not being real big guys, and some of their big guys were hurt. So, I mean, they don't have a lot of size on that defensive line. I'm sure that's why Tuskegee feels like it can just power run and try to pound this ball into the end zone. But Alabama State playing tough along the defensive front in this goal line stand here.
Certainly have, because Charles Parham was out for a number of games with a fractured foot. And, you know, I think Jamal Johnson was hurt, and they're getting their people back. Here it is on 3rd and goal. The quarterback keeps it, and he's in for a touchdown. Thanksgiving reservations Well, honored for Kevin Huff as he gets to the end zone.
And with 11 touchdowns rushing coming into the game from the quarterback spot, you have to figure he would score sometime today. You see he's just coming with the option. He sees the inside hole and just takes it, and big, strong guy, and he knows how to get into the end zone.
75-yard drive for Tuskegee, and now the point after by Roosevelt Echeverry. He's only missed one PAT all year, 35 of 36. Now the two-point conversion, they're going to run it, and it gets in.
Great pump fake.
Boy, I'll tell you, it was a great pump fake. And that was Henderson, the holder, the wide receiver, who took it in for 2. So it's an 11-3 lead.
And when Henderson messes up that snap, I mean, look at the athletic ability. He pumps that ball in the air. Of course, the defender jumps, and with his speed, he can get in there for that two-point conversion.
So Tuskegee, they scored first on a field goal, and they've increased their lead to 8. Here's Henderson taking it in for 2 after the touchdown. Top that young man, the MVP of the SIAC, 13 touchdowns passing, rushing 12 throughout the season. That includes today with a rushing touchdown. 25 for the year, the MVP and the Offensive Player of the Year in the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference. That list just released yesterday. Look at Echeverry, a field goal to his credit already, kicking it off. No, it's Peck bringing it up. Let's go down to Jay.
Although Alabama State is a Division I AA team and Tuskegee is just a Division II program, they're not a normal Division II program. See, head coach Rick Comagese feels that he's got a reputation out there for transfers coming into his program and doing well. He's got 20 transfers from colleges and 6 junior college transfers on this team so far. And where do they come from? All walks of life. You've got transfers from Notre Dame, San Jose State, Auburn, and oh yeah, Eddie Rob, they also got a couple transfers from Alabama State as well. Fellas, back to you.
The cross-state recruiting school's only 45 miles away.
Knocking on the same doors a lot of times. Tavares Jackson rolling right, throws, has it complete to Brandon Harris, and Brandon Harris has a first down at the 48-yard line.
Trying to get Tavares Jackson out of the pocket a little. He's going to always hit an open receiver. He's very efficient. Of course, we've seen him play a couple times this year. He doesn't miss open passes. Tavares is a guy who the NFL scouts are really high on. Great athletic ability and also great arm strength, and a very intelligent quarterback. He's progressing year to year.
First down and 10, full house backfield. Keldrick Williams, the second back. Up fake. Here's the pass. Almost intercepted in and out of the hands of Lee Smith. He had it in his mitts, and that would have been his 5th interception of the year. He's ranked 31st in the nation in Division II in passes he's defended this year.
What they're trying to do is try to run a double move here to Al Vance Robinson, and good coverage on the play by Lee Smith, and he was able to knock that ball down. They're trying to throw on the back shoulder, and what that does is confuses the defensive back for Tuskegee. If he's not really looking to find that ball, he'll have trouble, but he did a good job of getting his head around, and Lee Smith was able to knock that pass down.
Second down. Now whistle comes in late as Robert Randolph gets the call for the first time today. He's one that was a very dangerous runner also. Third penalty of the ball game. First one against Alabama State. Tavares Jackson, preseason SWAC Offensive Player of the Year. In fact, Alabama State had 8 players on the preseason all SWAC team. 6 of them were on the first team, and they will announce this year's all-conference teams in Birmingham just prior to the SWAC championship in a couple of weeks. A little screen pass to Randolph. Randolph has a first down. Randolph across midfield and down into Tuskegee territory at the 37-yard line. And watch the one-handed catch by the fullback, or the big Robert Randolph from Union Springs, Alabama.
Yeah, and the big guy, look here with the one-hand grab. Reach out there and grab it. He only has 8 receptions coming into the year, and that's his 9th reception. Alabama State has a great screen game. You'll see today they'll have screens to wide receivers, screens to running backs, maybe even a screen to the tight end here or there. And here's a big guy who rotates in and out of the game. Keldrick Williams, and they have a 1-2 combination, and it's been highly effective this year.
You say he bench presses about 470 pounds, Randolph, and he has some running room to the outside, but not a lot of running room as the defense was there, and Ramon Nickerson put his head down and made the stop defensively. Nickerson giving away about 30 pounds to Mr. Randolph.
Robert Randolph, I mean, he's a north-south runner. You won't see him heading for the sideline. He tries to get to the goalpost. You talk about all of the NFL scouts in town for Tavares Jackson, but Robert Randolph is also a guy who's playing tailback, but a lot of NFL scouts feel like he can move to fullback. He's a big guy. He's tough-nosed. If he can get in there and learn how to block, he plays on special teams, on the kick coverage teams also. He's another guy who may be able to play on Sundays in the NFL.
Randolph probably as a fullback as you get the delayed handoff and draw to Keldrick Williams, who gets it down to the 31-yard line, where it'll be 3rd down after the stop was made by Torres Mosley, the linebacker.
And watching Keldrick Williams, he does a 360, just turns around in the circle. I guess that's just confusing the safeties a little bit. But it's the good fake. That's the play that the Rams kind of started with Marshall Faulk, where they fake the pass downfield and then they do the handoff. They just try to freeze the safeties and the linebackers and create a crease so the running back can get started and get into the open field.
3rd and 2 at the 30 of Tuskegee. Play action here is the quarterback, Tavares Jackson. He gets to the first down marker and struggles down to the 26. He was hit a couple times, but managed to fall forward and pick up the first down. Bailey was the first man to make contact with him on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, great toughness. I mean, you realize that you can't just get this first down by running out of bounds or sliding. So he just puts his body in there. He almost turns into a human pincushion, and you don't want that from your quarterback. Number 19, Jonathan Harris, is taking his shots at your quarterback. But in that situation, hey, it's 3rd and 2. It's your last home game, the Turkey Day Classic. You can't go out of bounds. You have to dive in there and be tough-nosed and get the first down like he did.
Maddox is the man in motion. Back to pass on 1st and 10. Spun one time too many that time. Before big number 55, Marcus Wright, the middle linebacker, senior out of Savannah, Georgia, came up and stopped him.
Yeah, you can only dance for so long, and eventually you have to get down or get out of the way. And you can see Marcus right here with 44 total tackles on the year is able to get a big hit on Tavares Jackson.
You know, Charlie and Eddie, we've talked about Alabama State all year having struggles on the offensive line. Well, Tuskegee's not applying much pressure, and for the first time all year, Tavares Jackson looks unsettled or uncomfortable in the pocket. I think because he's not used to having so much time, he's over-reading the offensive line and not focusing downfield.
All right, loss of 2 on that last play. Here's Randolph and sneaks through somehow and gets yards all the way down to the 15 and has the first down. What a run by Robert Randolph. He's a senior also, one of the 22 seniors on this Alabama State squad.
Yeah, and he's a real physical runner. I mean, he goes downhill. The guy doesn't have a lot of fakes, but he knows what he can do, and that's play power football. Look at the good leverage. He's leaning with his pads over his knees, and he's going to go downhill and make people miss and get those tough yards.
And the rushing yards, the advantage goes to Alabama State. The first down is gained, and Alabama State driving. This drive will be their 9th play of the drive after that 13-yard run. Keldrick Williams cuts it back inside the 10 and drops down at about the 8 or 9-yard line. Good defensive tackle by Jonathan Harris.
Yeah, good touchdown saving tackle by Jonathan Harris, because Keldrick Williams really had something going right here. You can see the speed and the quickness, the difference between him and Robert Randolph. He just gets face mask to face mask, and great open field tackle. And of course, Charlie, the definition of a good open field tackle, hey, just get him down. You don't want to try to be pretty in textbook. No. Just keep him out the end zone.
Jonathan Harris, who made the stop there, transferred out of Morris Brown after they dropped football. He's on the Tuskegee track and field team, runs the 100 meters. Right now it is 2nd down, 2nd and 3 for Alabama State. From the shotgun, Keldrick Williams Leans forward, gets the first down inside the 5. Jay.
Charlie, I heard you allude to Jonathan Harris, who transferred here from Morris Brown. We talked about the transfers earlier that are on this Tuskegee football team. Well, this was a unique situation. You see, Therese Mosley, the starting linebacker, Jonathan Harris, the DB, and Juval Winston, the starting wide receiver, all played at Morris Brown College, another school that was in the SIAC. But when Morris Brown dropped football, these 3 men decided to enroll at Tuskegee, who had proven ways of winning championship after championship, and they're significant members of this Tuskegee squad.
All right, first down and goal. And right now the handoff is to Lee Carter, the fullback. You know, one of the unique situations with Alabama State is their fullback, because of the youth in the offensive line, we're calling the blocking schemes for the offensive linemen this year. Lee Carter being one of those young men. He's one of those seniors along with the other fullback, Marlon Lynch.
Yeah, and those guys don't get a lot of carries, man, mainly blockers. And those 3 freshmen on the offensive line for Alabama State have really progressed and come along a lot this year, and they should be really good players in the future for the Alabama State program.
Fumble. The ball is down. Let's see what we have here. We have a flag, so it may be against Alabama State, maybe movement in the offensive side before the snap. Well, you talk about that youth at this juncture of the season, though, Eddie, they're not freshmen anymore, are they?
He stopped being a freshman after about week 4. But you
can't even make excuses, can you?
Not at all. Coaches don't want to hear him. And you look at Tavares Jackson and all the accolades he's getting as a passer. But the reason that Alabama State is running this ball is that ball is on the ground. Probably a fortunate penalty because they may have gotten that back. But the reason Alabama State is rushing the ball so much here in the game, in their 6 wins, they've rushed for 222 yards per game. And in the 4 losses, they've rushed for 134 yards per game. So even with all of the big passing, they need to run the ball to be successful today.
Well, that's the second timeout that Alabama State has called. They trail in the game by 8. When we come back, they're facing a 2nd and goal. Stay with us at halftime. You'll get a chance to see a little more action on the field as the bands do their thing. Right now, the Stingettes in the stands trying to sting the crowd here. And Alabama State trying to get on the scoreboard once again. They trail by 8 points, 2nd and goal from the shotgun. And it's Robert Randolph, and Randolph is at the 1, and he stopped right at the 1-yard line. He was close to getting in, but the defense surged and made sure he did not get in. It was 3 stops so far. It is 3rd and goal at the 1.
Robert Randolph from Alabama State is content to just try to power this ball in, and you can understand why. I mean, with big Robert Randolph, it'll be interesting to see what play they come up with right here.
Now Tuskegee spends its first timeout. We have a chance to talk about, you know, coaching changes and some of the things that's happening, and you have a pretty good relationship with Coach Comegys over at and what he's been able to do over the years coming from Central State over to Tuskegee.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Comegys is, of course, in his 10th year at Tuskegee with a 79-25 record just at Tuskegee alone, and a 97-50 record overall. But here's a guy who was, of course, coached with Billy Joe and was part of the 1995 NAIA National Championship team back at Central State, where they had some players as Eric Williams with the Dallas Cowboys, and of course Hugh Douglas, who played with the Jets in Philadelphia. So Comegys is a very respected coach, not just in the SIAC but across the country.
And you see the school is located about 45 minutes from here. 3,000 students, founded by Booker T. Washington in 1881, and they're a member of the SIAC. And more importantly, Coach Comegys' name came up in an article in the Clarion Ledger in Jackson, Mississippi yesterday as one of the 3 finalists for their head coaching job, along with John McKenzie, an alumnus, along with Harold Jackson. John McKenzie's over at Alcorn State, and Harold Jackson is coaching at Baylor University. So the research search committee is looking for a coach. Here's Keldrick Williams. Touchdown, Alabama State. Keldrick Williams, his 7th rushing touchdown this year.
That's what Alabama State can do with the rushing attack. You see Robert Randolph, who keeps pounding the ball on the inside. Then they come with a speedy Keldrick Williams, who's able to bounce to the outside, and just a good player, and he's able to get that ball into the end zone. He knows how to find the end zone, and with that type of speed, it's hard to catch him on when you only need 2 yards to score.
For the extra point, you're not going to go for the 2-point conversion, and now a timeout, a flag is being thrown against Tuskegee, probably illegal substitution or too many men, because I saw a player sprinting for his life to try to get off the side.
Now it looks like Alabama State may put the offense back on the field because of this penalty.
Because they're going to move them half the distance to the goal line.
I think that's a good move, because you said earlier that the kicker for Alabama State is, of course, perfect on the season for field goals, but he's missed a couple crucial extra points in the last couple of games. So it's a good move here by Coach Cole, going for 2.
Let's see who he goes to. Randolph, the fullback, Carter, or Keldrick Williams. It's Randolph to the right side. Randolph is in for 2, and it's tied at 11. Is our score here. Keldrick Williams pulled his team to within 2. Carter. And we'll
get ready, football fans, for the 2005 SWAC Football Championship game, Saturday, December 10th at 1 o'clock at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. Watch as Grambling State University goes head-to-head with Alabama A&M in a winner-takes-all battle for the SWAC title. Don't miss the bands, the tailgating, and most of all, the pregame performance by Jagged Edge. Tickets are on sale now at Legion Field or at Ticketmaster outlets by calling 1-800-277-1700. For more information, go to SWAC.org. SWAC Football Championship, December 10th. Be there.
What is the motto of West Point?
Duty, honor, country, sir!
Beneath the coat of honor,
I don't think I'm going to squeak through midterms.
I need help. I can get you the answers.
lies a coat of silence.
It's the way things work.
On December 10th,
This is a violation of the honor code.
one cadet must choose
If I come forward, half of the guys here will never speak to me again.
between keeping silent
It's the only family I've got, Brian.
and exposing the truth.
Is this really the road you want to go down?
Codebreakers, an ESPN original movie, Saturday, December 10th at 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Presented by Kay Jewelers.
No crunches ever.
Introducing the Ab Lounge, scientifically designed to get you up off the floor, making old-fashioned crunches a thing of the past.
Sculpt your abdominals using the Ab Lounge Jackknife, proven in university testing to be better for your body. Compare the Ab Lounge to an old-fashioned crunch. The advanced Ab Lounge Jackknife generates up to 75% more muscle activity in the upper and lower abdominals, and an amazing 268% more in the love handle obliques.
It's a complete lifestyle system, including Ab Lounge toning routine, healthy eating guide, and an aerobic workout designed to maximize results.
I have this one pair of jeans. After just 8 weeks, my fat jeans don't really...
up there Thanksgiving to be here with us, and wishing you and yours a very, very happy Thanksgiving Day. All of our crew from around the country that traveled here to Montgomery to be a part of this Turkey Day Classic. Charlie Neal along with Eddie Robinson and Jay Walker here with you. I'm glad you could join us in this 11-11 score. Looks like a number of drumsticks hanging up in the air, doesn't it?
Very odd score for a football game.
Fumble. And it's still loose. They see it may be the first break of the ball game.
Alabama State may have this ball, Charlie.
The referees are down there. A lot going on at the bottom of that pile, all right? He pointed the wrong way.
Alabama State guy jumped up.
He's so excited he pointed in the wrong direction. That's Deion Lewis, who's out there pointing number 41.
You're talking about pulling the turkey leg off of a turkey. There's a lot of people pulling things right now, trying to get that football as they scramble.
The official, has he signaled yet?
Well, the Alabama State guy has the ball.
Well, where's the signal? The referee still hasn't given us any signal. I still don't know whose ball it is. There you go. It took him a while, didn't it?
Well, they gave the ball to Tuskegee, but number 33, Dupuis, came out of the pile with the football, so I'm sure Coach Cole has a lot to say to both of the referees right now.
So Tuskegee from their own 26 will get the ball, and Coach Cole is talking things over. Bounces right off the chest.
tries to fair catch the ball, which is the correct thing to do when you have those sky kicks on a kickoff. But I mean, it's no way to know who has this ball. I mean, usually the guy who comes out of the pile who is the guy who gets the ball. But in this situation, Dupuis, who was from Alabama State, number 33, actually came out of the pile with the ball, but it was still awarded to Tuskegee.
I don't know what he's reviewing. We don't have review here. He's over talking. He was trying to get under the hood. And we have no hood for him to get under. Maybe he's just trying to hide because.
But I don't think he doesn't want to hear what Coach Coe is telling him right now. He wants to put on a pair of headphones because I know that happens right in front of your bench. A lot of emotions, and Coach Coe wants to get this call correct.
Well, we have no mic, and we never haven't been able to hear anything the referee has said today. And that's Keith Moore. Anyway, it's first down and 10 Tuskegee. They've scored every time they've had the ball today on a 45-yard field goal and a touchdown. This is their third possession. Huff to go to the air. Throws it behind him, and we have a flag. We may have holding. Or do we have an ineligible man downfield? Let's see what happens. Holding is going to be against Tuskegee. Let's look at another angle of that fumble and see who has the ball. Now there's 23 on top of it for Alabama State, and that is Bobby Coleman, looks like, doesn't it?
It looks like Bobby Coleman, but number 33, Dupuis, was the guy who actually came out of the scramble with the ball. And usually in those situations, there's no way to tell who actually has the ball. So the guy who comes out of the pile usually is the guy who gets awarded the football. And in this situation, the referee felt like Tuskegee had control of the ball, and they had the 1st and 10, which is a big break for Tuskegee because if Alabama State can get that fumble there in scoring position as soon as they take control of the ball.
They would have great field position, a short field to work with from the shotgun now. On first down and 20, here's Huff trying to go right. Not much for him as Dupuis, the man who's a little upset that he didn't get that fumble recovery, makes the stop. The last drive by Tuskegee down the field. Here's Huff, the quarterback, running off the right side, picking up some valuable yards, and then finally getting it into the end zone. Then the 2-point conversion on the muff snap, and it's Henderson, Kenneth Henderson, the receiver, who's also the holder, taking it in, and that made it 11-3. But then Alabama State drove right down the field and scored and converted the 2-pointer to tie it at 11. Huff the pass. Receiver fell down and couldn't get up in time to try to make the catch, and that was Lorenzo Crawford, Jr. out of Patterson, New Jersey.
And Alabama State playing some real inspired defense here as they've gotten Tuskegee into a 3rd and long situation after that very controversial fumble call on the kickoff.
So it's 3rd down and 16 for the Golden Tigers, who were 41% in 3rd down conversions this year. In this game, Tuskegee in 3rd downs are 3 of 4. This is 3rd and long. Empty backfield. Stands in there, throws, has it complete to Henderson, and Henderson is still short of a 1st down. He's going to be about 3 yards shy of a 1st down. He gets it up to the 32-yard line, his first reception of the day, but it's going to be short.
And like you said,
don't forget, let's look at this once again.
And that's what Kevin Huff has the ability to do, is buy time. And remember, Henderson is his favorite receiver. He comes into the game with 62 receptions, all SIAC receiver. So look for him to get started. I'm sure he's saying, hey, I'm open. Give me the ball, like the most good receivers do.
Yeah. Echeverry with his first punt of the afternoon. And Goodman goes off the side of his foot. Bounces across midfield and goes out of bounds right about the 45-yard line. Saturday afternoon, ESPNU's coverage of college football action continues with NCAA playoff action at noon. Saginaw Valley and Grand Valley in a Division II quarterfinal. And it's on to Saturday night with a Division I AA. First round game, number 12 Richmond, the Spiders, taking on the 2nd-ranked Pirates of Hampton University. The top 4 seeds in 1AA. New Hampshire, they'll take on Colgate. Appalachian State takes on Lafayette. Hampton, the 3rd seed, takes on Richmond. Texas State, the 4th seed, meets Georgia Southern. And we'll talk more about the 1AA playoffs as we go along, as they keep the ball on the ground this time in Alabama State, running straight ahead. And some of the teams I thought that deserved to get in was South Carolina State. They finished the season with a 9-2 record, and they were ranked 25th in the latest GPI Gridiron Pirate Index, along with Coastal Carolina, who came up 39th, and Youngstown State, who had the best of the 3 that didn't make it, I thought. They were 12th in the GPI rankings, while Lafayette jumped over everybody. They were 41st in the GPI rankings, so it's very interesting how they made the selection.
Always a little controversial when you're trying to see what teams can make and which teams don't.
Those teams, I'm sure, were very disappointed. We're talking about Coastal Carolina, Youngstown State, and South Carolina State.
And South Carolina State in particular, I mean, there's a team they only lost was to Coastal Carolina and, of course, Hampton, which is in their conference and is ranked 3rd nationally, like you said. And this is the same thing that happened to them last year. They only lost 2 games, 1 to Hampton and 1 other loss, and they just barely missed the playoffs last year also.
Well, you know, Coastal Carolina, I think what hurt them was their loss last week to Charleston Southern. They were ranked, and that is Charleston Southern, 89th in the GPI rankings. And, you know, South Carolina State, as we said, would leapfrog. The Bulldogs were in a group of about 6 teams. That is South Carolina State that was vying for those final 3 at-large bids. Richmond and Cal Poly got in, and they got in based on the strength of schedule.
One team missing, Grambling State University from the SWAC conference, of course, because of the championship game.
Yeah, they can't go in. Not only that, is they play the Bayou Classic on Saturday. So that's the beginning of the 1AA playoffs, as Al Vance Robinson is stopped for no gain. In fact, loses yards. And that'll bring up a 4th down punting situation for Alabama State. As you look at Al Vance Robinson, and don't forget Tuskegee will be playing in the Pioneer Bowl. We'll have it on ESPN Classic a week from Saturday up in Charlotte, North Carolina. They'll take on Bowie State, Rick Comegie's team, in another postseason game.
Alabama State seems to have a little confusion with getting the correct number of people on the special teams play again.
So from the Tuskegee 49, Anthony Johnson to punt it. Good high kick, fair catch being called for and made right at about the 14-yard line by Kenneth Henderson. And that's where Tuskegee will go to work. 1st down and 10. Their 4th possession of the afternoon after a 35-yard punt. Let's go down to Jay.
Well, you know, we've got halftime getting ready to take place here, and, you know, it wouldn't be a black college game without a black college band. Well, down in Tuskegee, they've got some famous alumni members of the band. See, everybody knows about Booker T. Washington founding the school, but many people don't know that the band featured 3 members of the Commodores when they went to school at Tuskegee University. Stay tuned for halftime. It's going to be an exciting show.
Lionel Richie and his crew are Tuskegee alums. The Commodores. Brick house. 1st and 10 on the near side. Here's the pass to Russell, and Russell up across the 20 to the 21, a 6-yard gain for the young man from Fairburn, Georgia. Toussaint on the stop defensively, and the notable alum from Tuskegee include Booker T. Washington, Chappie James, the general and Air Force pilot, Tom Joyner. We talked about Lionel Richie. Also, Alice Coachman, who was the first African-American woman to win an Olympic gold medal. And she did it in the high jump in the 1948 Olympics. Pass for 1st down is complete.
Of course, you have the Tuskegee Airmen also, Charlie, and just a lot of great history for a city that small. If you've ever been to Tuskegee, it's not a whole lot. It's not a real big population except for the university.
We were there yesterday.
Right.
We passed through it, didn't we?
So you know you can miss it if you blink your eyes. But, I mean, they produce a lot of great citizens in the United States with a lot of good contributions.
Certainly do. 1st down and 10. Pass. This was a very dangerous pass. Did they call it incomplete? Yes. Great catch by Calvin Russell. Oh, no. Now they're calling it incomplete. The line judge comes in and says it's incomplete. We think he got it. Let's see. Did it hit the ground? That's a catch. Or did the ball come out? What do you think?
Yeah, the linesman came in really late and said it was an incomplete pass, but from this angle, it looked like it was a catch. And the Alabama State person, of course, hit the ball out late, but in college, when your knee is down, the play is dead. So it seems like that was a real close call also that could have went either way.
2nd down and 10. At the 27. From the shotgun, goes Huff, steps up, time, runs, takes off, has some speed, gets out of bounds in front of the first down marker, and should have enough at the 38-yard line.
Minute 20 seconds left, a minute 19 seconds left in the half, and Huff is doing a good job of managing his 2-minute drive, getting out of bounds, completing passes. And of course, you have the clock that stops once you get the first down in college also.
Jay?
You know, we talk about being in a festive environment. You got friends and family out here. Well, the Tuskegee mascot is over there on the sideline like he's one of the coaches. He's just amongst the players watching the game. I think if he sits too much closer to the defensive staff, they may use him in the second half.
Yeah, scare a couple people away. It is 1st down and 10. Kevin Huff slips down right at about the 39-yard line, a gain of 1. Clock continuing to run. Tuskegee still has 2 timeouts remaining. Alabama State has used all of theirs. Don't forget, 2nd down and 9. Pass out in the flat, complete to Kenneth Henderson, and he goes out of bounds and stops the clock right at about the 45-yard line. They're still 55 yards away. The clock is down to 48 seconds to go before halftime.
And in this situation, you just want to get the first down. You're always concerned about time and everything else in a 2-minute drive, but it's 3rd down. So the biggest thing is get the first down, then we can continue with our 2-minute drive plays.
But it is 3rd down and 3. And the man is tackled inbounds. That's Kenneth Henderson. And they still have 2 timeouts to go, and they still didn't get the first down. That was not, they finally used one of their timeouts with 35 seconds to go.
It's a good tackle by Demetrius Derrico right there. They're playing man coverage, and they're running an out route, which is always the hardest play to stop, and he just did a great job of tackling him and not letting him advance the ball to get the first down. So now Tuskegee comes into a 4th down situation.
ESPNU's coverage of college football continues on Saturday afternoon. It's a Big East matchup between the Orange of Syracuse and the Cardinal of Louisville, who are ranked number 17. It's college football on ESPNU Saturday. It comes your way at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And for more information, log on to ESPN.com. 35 seconds to go, 4th down and 2 facing Tuskegee. Band's getting ready for halftime. Right now, Tuskegee hoping to get in position to put some, well, they decide they're going to punt it away. Here's a fumble, snap, and the kicker lost his helmet. I mean, he almost lost his head, and that is Roosevelt Echeverry, who dropped the snap, and coming in there with a vengeance defensively. Is that Dupuis?
Yeah, that's Chris Dupuis, number 33.
Yeah,
of course, he's the leading tackler on the team with 74 total tackles, and he just gets a free shot to unload and knocks the helmet off of the kicker, and the kickers are not used to taking those type of shots. And just get down and get out of the way, because Chris Dupuis
he tried to get down, but Dupuis got there so fast, there was no hope. As Dupuis, a young man out of New Orleans, Louisiana. Last year in this game against Tuskegee, he had 9 tackles, 5. He had forced a fumble and had a fumble recovery, and he's done a great job this year.
Yeah, Chris Dupuis, I mean, he's an outside linebacker, but he's not a real big guy. He's almost like a strong safety size guy. Has 74 total tackles on the year, and just a very efficient player. Of course, he's from New Orleans, and his family had a lot of problems and difficulties with the flood, and the team has really rallied behind him. And he's one of those guys who's an emotional and spiritual leader, and he's another senior that they'll be losing also, but a very effective player for Alabama State throughout his career.
You know, with the kickers going down, they had only 2 kickers that were dressed, and one does punting and one does field goals. They don't have a combination. So if Echeverry doesn't return in this game, that could be costly for Tuskegee. Their 3rd kicker wasn't even dressed. I think he went to the locker room just now to change so he can participate in the second half.
And that's tough because if you have some type of blow to the head or concussion where he can't really get his wits about himself, of course he can't come back out there and kick also for the safety of the players.
So with 29 seconds to go and no timeouts, Alabama State with the ball at the 31 and going to the end zone, out of the end zone, incomplete. It was caught by Hoffman, but he was out of the end zone, so they'll have another shot at it. The big guy, they went for the gusto with the Mr. Hoffman at 6'6".
Yeah, and Lorenzo Hoffman, they call him Slim. You can see he's a tall guy, and he's a guy that can get behind the defense, but his feet just did not get into the end zone. There's that 1 foot that you need for college, the big white stripe, and he's on the wrong side of it.
Yeah, he didn't know how to drag that foot. As long as his legs are, he should have been able to put it back at the goal line.
Yeah, but he's been in and out of the lineup, had a lot of injuries all year long, so it's just good to see him out here today, and maybe he can get a big play.
There's a whole group of people sitting under us with slim jerseys on. This one is caught and out of bounds on the near sideline by Maddox, Chris Maddox. And that moves it closer, and the clock stops with 16 seconds to go. First down and 10. We'll see how costly that play on the 4th down was. Again, they're going to the, and they're going to call interference. And interference is going to be called, I believe, against Jonathan Harris.
I just want to say one thing to you.
We have flags on both sides of the field, one in the end zone and one at the line of scrimmage. So let's see what it's all about.
And you can see that Alabama State is trying to use the height advantage to Hoffman. Of course, he's a 6'6", 210-pound receiver from Tuskegee, Alabama, and they feel like they have a mismatch that they can throw the ball high and let him catch it in the end zone.
He should have caught that one, though, even though he was interfered with. So we have offsetting penalties anyhow and had an eligible man downfield with 11 seconds to go, and we had a pass interference in the end zone. So we'll play the down over. But more importantly, 11 seconds left on the clock.
And with no timeouts, of course, they had to burn some of those timeouts early because of not having enough people on the field. Alabama State is in a situation where you have to throw into the end zone because if you're tackled inbounds, the clock will run out and you won't have time to get another play off.
Or get your field goal unit in. And maybe that's what they're going to do if they get an incomplete pass here. Maybe at least get the field goal team off. Back to pass. Going to the end zone on the far side, and it's dropped. In and out of the hands of Alvance Robinson, their best receiver, who came into the game with 58 catches. He doesn't drop many.
And he's been the go-to guy all year long for Tavares Jackson. And look at the way that Tavares puts this ball right in here on the outside shoulder. That's the catch that you really have to make.
Nickerson was covering, and Nickerson had no idea where the football was. Now for the field goal attempt. He's already hit one today. That is Anthony Johnson. This one will be a 34-yard attempt. Blocked. Anthony Johnson has this one blocked. And the half comes to an end. Kenneth Henderson on the special teams, an offensive receiver who comes in and blocks the field goal attempt.
Not a lot of blocking. He came into the game with 2 block kicks already, so you can see Kenneth Henderson, all-around football player with the speed coming off of the edge and able to block that kick and keep this game tied at halftime.
Boy, what a half we've had here in this 82nd edition of the Turkey Day Classic. It's all tied at 11 apiece. To recap the scoring, Echeverry got Tuskegee on the board with a 45-yard field goal. Then it was tied on Anthony Johnson's 31-yarder at 3 apiece after 1 period. Huff with a 3-yard run and Henderson with a 2-point conversion made it 11-3. And then Williams' 1-yard run, Keldrick Williams that is, and then Randolph's 2-point conversion with 6:26 to go tied the score at 11 apiece, and that's the way we stand right now. Let's go down to Jay.
Coach, you guys basically dominate the whole first half, yet it's a tie ball game. What do you tell your team at halftime?
Well, we just got to stop some of the things that we're doing. We're not adjusting well right now, and they're getting some runs up inside, and we just got to shut that down. I think we're playing well overall offensively, but right now I'm a little disappointed that we're allowing them to get a few breaks on defense that allow them to push the ball up and down the field, and we can't have that. So we're going to try to shut that middle down a little bit and try to see if we can come out and do it better this half.
Thanks so much. Good luck in the second half. Charlie, back to you.
All right. 11-11 is our halftime score. The 82nd Turkey Day Classic from Montgomery, Alabama. We're all tied at 11. Back with halftime activities from Montgomery in a moment.
Challenge. Don't miss two of the nation's strongest conferences in a one-of-a-kind early season clash. The Big Ten ACC Challenge presented by Cisco Systems. Wisconsin versus Wake Forest at 7. Illinois versus North Carolina at 9. Tuesday on ESPN.
You've heard the legendary Tuskegee story. Today at Tuskegee University, students learn to fly, grow food for NASA, develop space-age materials, design affordable sound homes, and help improve education in Alabama schools. Students earn degrees from bachelor's to PhD level, becoming engineers, veterinarians, nurses, teachers, scientists, business professionals, and artists. Tuskegee University students enjoy modern residential living, along with high-tech research facilities. Call 1-800-622-6531 or go online at tuskegee.edu.
This is what only 5 pounds of body fat looks like. 5 pounds. How much extra body fat are you carrying around every day? This is propylene, clinically proven to reduce body fat, and so powerful that its active ingredient was issued a patent by the United States government for weight loss.
It's like a miracle. I cannot believe it, you know. People, they don't even recognize me.
You don't change your life, and the fat just comes off.
I didn't do anything different, and I took it and I lost weight.
Call now to try Propylene risk-free for 30 days for only $29.95. If you don't see amazing weight loss results, send it back and we'll refund your $29.95. But wait, it gets better. Call now and we'll include a second bottle absolutely free. Call in the next 10 minutes and your shipping and handling is also free. That's right. Call now and your second bottle and shipping is free. That's an additional $40 value. Yours free when you call right now.
To order, call 1-800-513-6699.
We're all tied at halftime here, this 82nd Turkey Day Classic from Montgomery, Alabama, between Tuskegee and Alabama State. Charlie Neal along with Eddie Robinson. And Eddie, pretty interesting first half, and not a lot of turnovers in the ball game, and not a lot of penalties, just some penalties, but a very interesting first half to say the least.
Yeah, very well played game by both teams. A couple timeouts that Alabama State used that it didn't really need to have, but it was a very efficient game. Both offenses are starting to get going, so look out in the second half.
And Tuskegee started the game scoring their first 2 times they had the ball. They had a 3-0 lead before they went down the field, and here is Kevin Huff throwing the ball, setting up another big play, and he finally takes it in from a couple of yards out, and that made it with the 2-point conversion 11-3.
Of course, Alabama State responds. You have Randolph, and the combination of him and Keldrick Williams has been prolific here for the last couple of years as they're able to get the touchdown and tie this game up at 11 apiece.
And both teams went for the 2-point conversion. Let's look at some of the first half stats and see what may jump out at you there in terms of yards. We have the edge probably going to Tuskegee a little bit there.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is that the score is tied, and that's all that matters at the end of this day. This is a big classic, and both of these guys want to win the ball game.
Well, and down on the field right now, the game all tied at 11 apiece. The Tuskegee University Marching Band. We're going to go down and take a little listen to part of our halftime activities here from the Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama. The Marching Crimson Pipers under the direction of Warren Duncan.
Dr. William Lyde, Commissioner of the Southern Intercollegiate Athletic Conference, and I welcome you to SIAC Sports. The SIAC is composed of 15 institutions of higher education offering 12 varsity sports. Alumni such as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. from Morehouse College and Olympic gold medalist Alice Coachman of Tuskegee University have graced our campuses as graduates. So join us and catch the excitement.
Alabama at the 82nd Turkey Day Classic. Our score all tied at 11 apiece, and more football coming your way Saturday afternoon. ESPNU's coverage of college football continues with NCAA playoff action at noon as Saginaw Valley and Grand Valley State in a Division II quarterfinal. Then Saturday night, it's a Division I AA first-round game. It's the 12th-ranked Richmond Spiders take on the second-ranked Pirates of Hampton University. NCAA football playoffs on ESPNU Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern. More information, log on to ESPN.com. Now let's go down and take a look at the mighty marching Hornets down on the field under the direction of James B. Oliver. He's a Montgomery native and a 1980 graduate of Alabama State. The mighty marching Hornets. They come with a sting. It's all tied at 11 apiece. We're at halftime. Back second half in a moment.
Play ball like we know we can play ball.
What happened on the field goal block?
Well, guy stepped out. You know, you never step out on the field goal. Always black stop in and black back out. But he stepped out, and the guy came inside and blocked.
All right, good luck to you in the second half, Coach. Charlie, seems like it's going to be a dogfight in the second half.
It certainly will be. And, of course, we're here, Thanksgiving Day, Turkey Day Classic. And while we have a moment, I'd like to thank all of the members of the ESPNU crew that gave up their holiday to come and be with us as part of this Thanksgiving Day festivities here in Montgomery, Alabama. Our producer, Todd Koulis, our director, Scott Katz, Bob Yodice, our technical director, Pearlie Hammers, our senior audio, Jeff Hubbard, our audio assistant, Tatiana Dolan, our audio assistant, Christina Klamborowski. Also here with us, our graphics operator, Andy Oslowski, graphics assistant, Kerry Evans on camera, Frank Hamby on camera, Frankie Reeves on camera, Joe Hubbard on camera, Mike Falgu on camera, Matt Mills, our EVS operator, Bill Word, our tape operator, Darren Chiappetta, our associate director, Harriet Harris, clock and score operator, Will Suff, our operations producer, Sel Warren, our engineer, Paul Dolan, our maintenance engineer, Chris Baker, our stage manager, and Eric Moore, our statistician. We want to say thank you to all of you for being a part of our Thanksgiving here in Montgomery, Alabama. And what a great day to be here in Montgomery, Eddie.
It's a great weather day. It's just, you look at the tailgate, the atmosphere is perfect for a football game. And of course, this Turkey Day Classic is the oldest historically black college and university classic that there is, and just a lot of friends and family who come back to Montgomery and from Tuskegee also enjoying here for just a great festive game and a parade and just a great day of activities.
It certainly is. And Jay Walker has an update on the kicker, Roosevelt Echeverry.
Yeah, very interesting twist. We don't know what's going to happen in the second half because they don't know what's going to happen in the second half. They say he got dinged up after he dropped the snap there and got a little, they don't want to call it concussion, but they're not quite sure. And what they're saying is we don't know if he'll be able to go or not. But in case he's not ready to go, they've got a freshman kicker who they had to dress out, and they may have to use in an emergency situation. We'll monitor the process. We'll monitor the progress of the kicker for the rest of the second half. Fellas, back to you.
All right, Chris Brown is the young freshman you're talking about. He wears number 6 as you look at Roosevelt Echeverry over the sideline. But Chris Brown is a freshman out of Hoover, Alabama. And the fortunate part is that Tuskegee will get the ball to start the second half. High kick. Comes down to Henderson. Cuts it back and across the 25 to the 26-yard line. And that's where Tuskegee will get the ball to start the second half. Each team had the ball, well, I should say Tuskegee had the ball 4 times in the first half. Alabama State had it 5 times. And when they got in scoring position, for the most part, they did a pretty good job until that blocked field goal of 34 yards just before halftime. Alabama State unable to convert.
We came into this game expecting a lot of offense. Both defenses have played extremely well. Not a lot of mistakes. It's a good, clean game. And we'll see if these offenses can pick up the pace here in the second half.
From the shotgun, empty backfield, now in motion is Henderson on the option to the left side, and Huff cuts it back inside. Dupuis there on the stop defensively. He was the first man to make contact. Charles Parham also in on the stop.
Yeah, Dupuis just is having a good, steady game. A senior here is playing in his last college football game. For a lot of these guys, they'll never put the football pads on again. So just a lot of camaraderie and friendship here just among the team, with Alabama State having the amount of seniors that they have. Very important for them to have a good showing today.
Trying to go left. Keeping the ball on the ground again, this time with the, I should say, pass to Henderson, the receiver. It is 3rd down. Gain of 5. Henderson has 5 catches today, and they didn't want him to have a big game like he did a year ago, as he had 14 catches, 194 yards, a touchdown, which covered 13 yards against Alabama State. They're trying to keep him under wraps.
That's tough to do.
To the right side, the quarterback on the keeper, short of the first down. It'll bring up a 4th and 1 as Huff unable to get to the first down marker.
Good job by Alabama State's defense. They had a little trouble in the first half at that speed option, where you get into a shotgun formation and the quarterback just runs a quick option. But this time they were up to the task. You can see Billy Gresham, the inside linebacker, and those guys on the defense was able to force a punting situation for the opening drive in the 3rd quarter.
Christopher Kahn is going to punt it away for Tuskegee. He's the backup punter. High snap. Almost blocked. Well, he just managed to get that one away. They were coming with a vengeance. And it's down at the 35-yard line of Alabama State. So Mr. Kahn gets it away. It's good for 30 yards. We come back. Alabama State gets the ball for the first time here in the second half. We're all tied at 11 apiece.
ESPN College Game Day is heading down to Houston, where we'll turn the spotlight on the Bayou Classic, matching Southern University against Grambling.
These guys are really good.
Plus, our guys will look at all the big stories from across the country as the season comes down to the wire. Who's bowl-bound? Who's in the BCS? Who's the Heisman favorite?
It's unfair to compare anybody to Reggie Bush.
College Game Day, built by the Home Depot, Saturday at 10:30 on ESPN.
For good health, I like to stay in shape.
And speaking of shapes, check out the shape of our Craftmatic adjustable bed.
Actually, if you're not in such great shape and suffer from any of these painful health problems, a Craftmatic bed with optional heat and massage may provide temporary relief.
Even to the not-so-physically fit among us. Affordable? You bet.
Our Craftmatic Model 2 cost up to 56% less than all these quality flatbeds. No kidding, up to 56% less.
If you're concerned about the shape you're in, call toll-free and get this free Craftmatic catalog by mail.
You'll also receive this special $200 off rebate certificate, good for $200 off the Craftmatic Model 1 bed of your choice. To receive everything free,
Call toll-free. There's absolutely no obligation.
Call toll-free 1-800-914-6100. That's 1-800-914-6100. Call toll-free 1-800-914-6100.
I got first pick.
No, you had first pick last game. All right, give me Dopey.
All right, let me get sneezy.
I'm gonna go with happy.
Bashful.
Grumpy.
I'll take sleepy. Wake up.
Doc. No, not you. I meant Doc.
Join us in March for ESPN The Weekend at the Walt Disney World Resort. There's something for every fan. Visit ESPNTheWeekend.com today. Presented by Speedstick 24/7.
All tied at 11 apiece here in the third quarter. Alabama State will get the ball for the first time in the second half of this ball game. First down and 10 at their own 36-yard line. Tavares Jackson has gone all the way at QB. On first and 10, wants to go to the air, lets it fly, strong arm, overthrown on the far sideline. Hoffman is the intended receiver down there. Tavares Jackson so far in the game, 7 of 14, 82 yards. He's thrown it to 5 different receivers. Alvance Robinson, Randolph, Harris, Maddox, and Keldrick Williams.
Tavares hasn't been able to connect on the long ball today. He's tried several times to attempt those 30-plus yard passes, and we'll see if he's able to connect on one before the day is over with.
Second down and 10. Option. He decides to keep it, puts it in the belly of the running back, takes it out, and gains 8 up to the 44-yard line. We're at the Turkey Day Classic. It's the 82nd edition. And we're at the Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama, along with Jay Walker and Eddie Robinson. I'm Charlie Neal, and glad you could be with us on this Turkey Day Classic. First time these two teams met way back in 1901, and Tuskegee has the lead in the series. They've won 7 of the last 9 meetings, including a 10-point victory a year ago.
And of course, most people don't know in HBCU football, Tuskegee University with 568 wins is the all-time winningest program in HBCU football. A lot of people wouldn't guess Tuskegee.
No, they wouldn't. Think Crampton or somebody like that, would you? Here's a great move to the outside. Take it to the house. Needs to beat one man. Keldrick Williams is brought down at the 12-yard line. Finally, from behind, Keldrick Williams brought down at the 12 by Muhammad.
Keldrick Williams just with an outside lead on the weak side. You can see the big fullback. Lynch getting the block there. Keldrick Williams in open field, and Brandon Harris is the receiver that's trying to give a block, but give Robert Durham great credit for just playing cat and mouse with the blocking receiver and able to make that tackle, because if not, Keldrick Williams would definitely have scored on that 44-yard run.
118 yards on 10 carries after that 44-yard run by Keldrick Williams gives him another 100-yard day performance. That's his longest run of the year. Previous was 33 yards. It is first and 10 inside the 15. Ball spotted at the 12. Keldrick Williams again trying to cut back. Nothing doing that time. He was hit before he got going by Albert Booker first, and then finished off by Johnny Williams.
And Albert Booker really makes this play. He's a senior out of Miami, Florida, playing for Tuskegee. Him getting the penetration up the field, Keldrick Williams really didn't have a decision to make. He made a decision for him, and he was able to slip in there and make that tackle for a loss.
Loss of 1, second and 11 in the third quarter here. Clock running. From the shotgun, Williams throws out the flat. Hit immediately after the catch. Are they going to call it a catch? Are they going to call it a catch? And that on the reception was Chris Maddox, or was it Alvance Robinson? Let's look at it once again. He was hit immediately.
Look at the great jump that the DB has. You can see he has just a great feel for zone coverage. You're playing in the cover 2. You want to try to jam that deep guy and also keep vision on the number 2 receiver coming out to the flat. And then you also want to deliver that big hit. That's Jared Simpson right there. Just a good understanding of what he's trying to do in the red zone coverage here.
3rd down and 10. Throws incomplete in the end zone. This one in and out of the hands of Steve Briggs.
Steve Briggs from Jacksonville, Florida, has to make this catch once again. It's a little bit behind the receiver, but he threw it to where the ball needed to be to get it away from the defender. That's the 2nd touchdown that's been dropped by the Alabama State Hornets that Tavares Jackson has put in a position for them to actually catch the touchdown. He has 66 career touchdowns, needed 5 to break the single season record by Darnell Kennedy, but without the help from receivers, I don't think he'll get 5 touchdowns today.
Anthony Johnson, 29-yard field goal attempt. The last attempt was blocked. This one he's not going to make it either. Recovered in the end zone for a touchback by Tuskegee. So the young man who was perfect, 11 of 11 before halftime, has had the last 2 field goal attempts today blocked.
Problems with the Alabama State special teams.
And this one coming in to block this one was Jonathan Harris, the junior out of Atlanta, Georgia. So we've had one by Kenneth Henderson and one by Mr. Harris. So that has accounted for the score staying all tied at 11. 9:43 the time remaining here in the 3rd quarter.
Two of the nation's strongest conferences clash in the Big Ten ACC Challenge presented by Cisco Systems. Wisconsin versus Wake Forest at 7. Illinois versus North Carolina at 9. Tuesday on ESPN.
Lunch is ready. Gourmet sandwiches made with artisan breads, topped with spreads like tomato feta, and fine deli meats, with a wide assortment of flavorful gourmet cheeses. But what truly makes them heavenly is how easy it is to find them. All of our sandwiches are made in local kitchens and delivered fresh daily. 7-Eleven. Oh, thank heaven.
Now the big game really is in your room.
That's unbelievable!
ESPN and Fisher-Price introduced the ESPN Shot Block Basketball. It's the only basketball game with built-in defense, featuring the voice of ESPN's own Dick Vitale.
Wow, what a nice shot!
With electronic scoring and real crowd noise, the ESPN Shot Block Basketball gives you 8 different ways to play, from rookie to pro.
What a performance like that, you might be on SportsCenter!
Take it to the hole with the ESPN Shot Block Basketball. In stores now. Batteries not included.
In the 3rd quarter here in Montgomery, Alabama at the Crampton Bowl, Tuskegee with the ball. 1st and 10 at their own 20 after their 2nd blocked field goal today. They have the ball 1st down and 10. Huff under pressure is lost. Dropped for a loss of about 2 yards. 2 block kicks today. Alabama State unable to convert, one just before halftime. This one coming from Kenneth Henderson.
And the second one, of course, is coming from Jonathan Harris. And what Alabama State is doing, they're putting an overload on one side, and it seems like it's a real short corner for the Tuskegee Tigers, and they're able to slip around there and get these kicks blocked. Have to shore up that protection up front so they'll have a chance to get those kicks off. Big points that they're not getting.
You heard Coach Code talk about it to Jay at halftime as we run with Fitzhugh going around the right side, and we have a flag that comes out as the stop was made by Jimmy Jericho. May have holding against Tuskegee.
Give Alabama State's defense a lot of credit today. Of course, in the 3 losses, they were started off 6-1 and lost 3 games in a row. The defense has been giving up some big points, but today they're playing a very good game. Seems like they're playing a little more zone coverage, not playing a lot of zero coverage, which means that they don't have a safety in the middle of the field and blitzing as much, and they're able to keep everything in front of them and just play a real good controlled game, and they're also tackling extremely well.
And they started the season with a loss in the SWAC Challenge to South Carolina State before, as you said, winning 6 straight SWAC games. But then they fell on hard times as of late, losing to Alabama A&M, Grambling, and Mississippi Valley. Back to pass is Huff under pressure. Steps up, takes off, makes a good cut back into the middle of the field, and is dropped as he crosses the 25 to the 27-yard line. He still has to get up to the 30 to get a first down. That was good for 19.
You can see Huff's ability as a runner. If no one's open, he takes off, and he's truly a running back once he gets into the open field. I mean, he's not looking to slide or get out of the way. He doesn't mind contact. He can make people miss and also finish the runs, much like a Steve McNair type of quarterback who's not just a passer, also a runner, but a very motivated runner who looks like a running back once he gets going.
3rd down and 3 for Tuskegee from the shotgun now. Fitzhugh is the back with him in the backfield. Here comes the blitz. He gets it as he throws it, and it may be intercepted by Jamal Johnson. Big number 71 came up with the INT as the quarterback arm was hit. Just as he let it go, it was Derrico who came up with the hit, Johnson with the INT.
Yeah, great call by Tony Pierce, the defense coordinator, bringing pressure from the backside. Quarterback never sees him come. And that's the big guy, Jamal Johnson, able to get that interception. And here's the hit. You want to get this ball out of his hand, but if you can't, the ball is going forward. Clearly your interception. Great play by Demetrius Derrico, timing up that blitz so the quarterback didn't have a chance to change the call, and he was unblocked. Great call by the defense coordinator, Tony Pierce. There, congratulating Dupuis and the rest of his defense.
And there you see Coach Pierce, the defensive coordinator for Alabama State. They're on the sideline. Tony Pierce, 1st down and 10 at the 31 of Tuskegee. Here's the pitch to Keldrick Williams around the right side. Keldrick met, but not before he gets to the first down marker inside the 20 at about the 19-yard line. It was Ramon Nickerson who came up to hit him head on.
You can see here's the zone blitz that you hear so much about, and what you have is the big defensive tackle. The nose guard is dropping out, trying to confuse the offensive lineman, and it works perfectly. You get the interception by the defensive tackle, but you also get the pressure by the outside linebacker, and they can't account for him because he's not in the initial read up front of the quarterback and the offensive line.
Can you imagine the look on Jamal Johnson's face when he found the football sitting in his hand? He said, "This doesn't happen often. I got a gift on Thanksgiving Day."
Yeah, he's a 6 foot, 255-pound guy out of Phoenix City, Alabama, and another one of those seniors here at Alabama State. So it's his last Turkey Day Classic, and like you said, he doesn't practice catching the ball or catching interceptions, but it's a great job. Not when you catch an interception, when you're a big guy that catches an interception. That is truly an outstanding play by Jamal Johnson.
We have a couple flags on the far sideline. I'm trying to see what this is all about. Hopefully our referee will let us know. Dead ball, personal foul, and it's against Tuskegee. And they had an ejection. Somebody got ejected. It might have been, and I don't want to speculate, but somebody just got thrown out. We don't have a mic from the referee.
When he give you that thumbs up sign, Charlie, it's okay. You're out of here. So it seems like someone is
number
ejected
15,
from the game.
Number 15 is standing there by the coach, and that's Lee Smith. And that may be who we're talking about.
And usually if you have an ejection, it's because a player has thrown a punch or something severe. So I'm sure Comagese is trying to figure out exactly what's the problem.
Lee Smith, there's the young man. He's a junior out of Shaw High in Mobile, Alabama, starting cornerback, the young man who transferred from Southwest State in Minnesota back a couple of years ago, and he's been tossed out of the game.
Tuskegee coaches are trying to get this sorted out, but I've never seen a referee change a call. So once he makes up his mind,
not once you're
it's
ejected.
a done deal.
No, once they eject you, they're not going to say, oh, you can bring him back.
No, never will happen. But that's a big blow. Let's talk about that from Tuskegee. You have Lee Smith, who's been playing well. 4 interceptions. He's tied for the team lead. So he's the person that they definitely would need out there, especially with this passing attack that Alabama State has in the red zone right here.
And he's 4th in the SIAC in defending passes, 31st in the nation in all of Division II. From the shotgun, here's Keldrick Williams to the left side, to the 5, and down to the 3-yard line before he is met by Therese Mosley.
We talked about earlier how efficient is Alabama State is in the red zone. This is the best way to be efficient. Hand it off to your running backs. A lot of good things can happen. You don't have to worry about sacks or interceptions. I'm sure they're going to try to pound it in here. And of course, they've missed 2 field goals already from relatively short range. They've had them blocked. So I'm sure they're not thinking field goal. They're thinking touchdown in this situation.
Keldrick Williams follows his blockers off the left side, and he goes in for 6. He followed the left guard, Ryan Beneby, along with Sylvester Hatton, and they took him into the end zone.
Of course, that drive was aided by the penalty and the ejection of Lee Smith. That was 15 yards and an automatic first down. Alabama State is able to take advantage of the miscues and mistakes by the Tuskegee Tigers.
3-yard run, second touchdown today for Keldrick Williams, PAT for Alabama State. Forthcoming by Anthony Johnson. Let's see if this is an adventure. He gets it through. They've had 2 field goals blocked, and he gives his team a 7-point advantage by a score of 18-11. Keldrick Williams, his 2nd touchdown today, his 8th rushing touchdown of the year. Good blocking up front from Beneby, Hatton, and Dunson.
Is your child protected for the future? Gerber, the baby people you've known since you were a baby, offers you a way to help with that protection through their Grow Up Plan for Children. It's a $5,000 cash value insurance program that costs less than 11 cents a day. At age 21, that protection doubles to $10,000 with no increase in premiums. So call now for your free information package.
Call this toll-free number for free information about Gerber's Grow Up Plan. Call now.
ESPN College Game Day.
It don't get any better than this.
College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10:30 on ESPN.
And we're coming. Big and Rich are back. To your city. And they're coming to your city with a brand new album. Featuring the title track, Coming to Your City. And we're coming. In stores now. To your city. And we're coming. Big and Rich are back. To your city. And they're coming to your city with a brand new album. Featuring the title track, Coming to Your City. We're coming. In stores now. Your city.
And welcome back to Montgomery, where Alabama State Hornets have taken an 18-11 lead over the Tigers of Tuskegee. And with this being Thanksgiving, a lot of people have a lot of things to be thankful for. Probably nobody more than the lady here on my left, Miss Sasanqua Jackson, mother of Alabama State star quarterback Tavares Jackson. Now, getting him to Alabama State has been a transition. He started off at Arkansas, but what changes have you seen in him since he came to the Alabama State campus?
Well, repeat the question.
It's all right, but with all that, she's a little nervous here, but he's not nervous. Thank goodness he's not as nervous as you are. But talk about everything you have to be thankful for. What type of food are you feeding him at home?
Well, now Tavares, he only eat healthy. The only thing he eat is salads and grilled meat.
See, so he's definitely getting ready for the NFL with his diet, huh? You're not feeding him any greens or nothing like that?
He used to eat that when he was younger, but now He's not.
Well, I guess that means I can't come over to your house for Thanksgiving dinner tonight, but I appreciate all the hospitality. Hey, it's all a fun-filled atmosphere, and you can tell Mr. Jackson is definitely getting ready for the NFL.
There's no question about it, Jay. And I heard the guys in the background. There's a guy there that's got a suit like yours, he said. In the stands. A lot of fun here in Montgomery on Thanksgiving Day as they try to keep him on the ground with Fitzhugh trying to go to the right side. And I think we had a late flag come in. Was that in my imagination?
Yeah, definitely a late flag. As the emotions are starting to get fired up. We're talking about Tavares Jackson. I mean, just a great story. I mean, here's a kid who's from here, went to Sidney Lanier High School, him and Keldrick Williams, and also Billy Gresham, all high school teammates. And they actually played their high school games in this stadium, and now they're finishing off their college careers in this same stadium, Crampton Bowl.
Yeah, a lot of emotions for a lot of these seniors last time playing here. Personal foul. This is against Tuskegee, so they've had a couple personal foul penalties. 22 seniors on this Alabama State team, and this is the last game for them. Tuskegee does have another game. They will be playing Bowie State in the Pioneer Bowl up in Charlotte on December 6th. And a couple of their players from Tuskegee have been invited to play in the Division II All-Star game, the Cactus Bowl in Kingsville, Texas, on December 6th. The defensive back, Robert Durham, along with the wide receiver, Kenneth Henderson. Of course, we know that Tuskegee in recent years has been known as Defensive Back U, DBU, with Drayton Florence and Roosevelt Williams and a number of other players that are actually playing in the National Football League right now.
Yeah, they've been putting out a lot of good players, and that means that you're recruiting a lot of good players. So even though they're a Division II school, a lot of good players coming through the doors of Tuskegee University. 2nd and 25, long yardage they have to get. Here's the quarterback. We may have a face mask against Alabama State as the quarterback, Kevin Huff, was running for his life. I'll tell you who we haven't seen run the ball much lately is Fitzhugh. He's been kind of quiet since early in the ball game. Yeah, he started off in the first half having some real tough runs. He was running with a lot of confidence and a lot of toughness. And now they're trying to feature Huff a little bit more. And on the scramble, you can see Kevin Huff getting out of the pocket, and there's the face mask. He didn't hold on to it, so it'll be interesting to see if it's the 5-yard or 15-yard variety.
This may be 15. Look at it from another angle, from the reverse side.
Yeah, a couple of 15-yard penalties and that, personal fouls and that type of stuff.
Yeah, the head goes around. That's a 15.
Yeah, definitely. Great call by the referee, but you just have to be really disciplined in these big games. You get emotional and you get excited. But at the same time, you can't lose your cool. You've seen a player rejected a couple 15-yard penalties, and you want to keep the game under control. You don't want to give the other team an unnecessary advantage. 15 yards and a first down are huge penalties in any football game.
Tuskegee averaged 109 yards a game in penalties coming in. That's not something to be proud of, while Alabama State averaged 71. First down and 10 now. The ball at the 32-yard line. Going back to the left side. This time, they're running Isaiah Martin III. Let's go down to Jay.
With the end of the season coming up, a lot of coaching open seasons starting to coming up, and one name that's constantly being mentioned is the man that you're looking at right now, offensive coordinator James Woody from Tuskegee. After a stellar collegiate career at Central State University, he's been Coach Comegee's assistant and offensive coordinator for the past 10 years, and with the Tuskegee offense constantly leading the SIAC, and they're also one of the top offenses in the nation. With that impressive resume, he'll pretty soon be calling plays himself as a head coach. Back to you.
Well, I'm sure he will. From Washington, D.C., the catch made right on the far sideline, or they call it incomplete. They're calling this one incomplete. That's Sean Bailey, the intended receiver out of Miami's Norland High. You speak of, there is Coach Woody, James Woody, product of Washington, D.C., and had a fantastic career as a quarterback at Central State. Played there while Billy Joe was the head coach, and Comegee's was an assistant there at the time. So they go back a long way from a player-coach relationship to a coach-assistant coach relationship.
And as a head coach, you always want people around you that you can trust and rely on. And as a player, I'm sure he had that, and also as a coach.
Shotgun, throws, and it's complete. And let's go down to Jay for more on Coach James Woody.
Well, when you talk about Coach James Woody, he was a guy in high school that was lightly recruited because he was a baseball star. He was a 6th-round draft pick in the Major League Draft. But also, Charlie, I got to mess with you a little bit. You know you've been around a long time. When you cover James Woody as a player, now you're covering him as a coach. And pretty soon you're going to be covering him as a head coach, Charlie. Time is catching up to you, buddy. Time is catching up.
But he's getting older, too. And so are you, Eddie. We're all getting older, right?
Well, of course, you covered the game back here in Alabama State in 1988 when I was a freshman, so you've covered everybody games.
Yeah, I haven't missed many people, I'll tell you. This one skids along the ground and is finally picked up and dropped at about the 34-yard line after the return. Alabama State will get the ball at about the 36. That's where they're marking. Don't forget, more college football coming your way Saturday afternoon. ESPNU's coverage of college football with NCAA playoff action at noon. Saginaw Valley and Grand Valley in a Division II quarterfinal. Then it's a Division I AA first-round game. Hampton and Richmond at 8 p.m. Eastern. The NCAA football playoffs at ESPNU. For more information, log on to ESPN.com.
Of course, those are some great games. The 1AA playoffs taking shape, and have some really good matchups in ESPNU.
On the 37 from their own 37. Randolph on the carry, going off the left side.
And we talked earlier about Alabama State and the number of seniors that they have leaving. There's 22 seniors that they have this year, and Randolph and all of these guys, and of course Al Vance Robinson, Tavares Jackson, and they'll be hit hard on the offensive side of the ball. So it'll be very interesting to see how they shape up next year with a lot of new players. Of course, it'll be Coach Cole's 4th season here at Alabama State.
And of course Tavares Jackson being a senior, but his backup quarterback Clinton Smith is also a senior. Here's a nice tackle in the open field on Robert Randolph. Durham on the stop.
And Coach Cole, in his first 2 years, he was in the championship game of the SWAC 2 years in a row. Of course, he lost the first year to Southern and won the title last year for Alabama State, and this year they came up a little short. So in his first 3 years, he's been very good and consistent here at Alabama State, and now you have to start reloading, as they say, and I'm sure he has some good plans for next year with the program.
They're trying to get the first down, keeping it on the ground, going straight ahead, and Tavares Jackson takes it and gets the first down for Alabama State. Should be enough. You know, one of the reasons you were talking about the fact that they lost 3 games in a row, and you know, they had to play Jamal Johnson and Ian Kinsey as down linemen on defense because of injuries to J.C. Chambers and Greg Tonico. And those two gentlemen just don't have the size to take the pounding from those big offensive linemen. And plus the points that they put up with the 3 losses, it should have been enough to win. 88 points and averaging 29 points a game, but they were giving away more than they were scoring, as we see Robert Randolph trying the right side this time, and he's hit by a wall of white jerseys right at the midfield stripe. Let's go down to Jay.
Robert Randolph back into play for Alabama State.
Guys, we know that the Alabama State offense has not been itself today. Tavares Jackson hasn't had a great day at the office, where you got to give a lot of credit to the defensive backfield of Tuskegee. Matter of fact, Tuskegee takes a lot of pride in their defensive backfield. They tell themselves they're known in the NFL as DBU, Defensive Back University, with 4 Tuskegee players currently playing defensive back in the NFL. You see the list of guys there, so it's easy to understand why Tavares has had his struggles today in the backfield for the Tuskegee. Back to you.
All right. They also have a receiver playing in the NFL also. Here's a pass, and it's caught wide open. Going down the sideline for Maddox, and Maddox is bounced out of bounds by Durham, but not before he picks up yards inside the 15 to the 13-yard line.
Yeah, and on this play here, you can see Tavares Jackson is able to find his second favorite receiver, Maddox, and he's wide open. Nobody's there to cover him. He just turns upfield. So said that they're DBU. Can you definitely use some of those NFL DBs right now, because Tavares Jackson is starting to hit his stride. Frank Walker is one of the guys he talked about who's up with the New York Giants. And of good story on Frank Walker. He comes back to Tuskegee during the offseason and actually has a football camp for kids. So you have a lot of those guys who are from that Tuskegee area like Frank Walker and give back to the university and keep this program going for Rick Comegys.
No question. 30 yards on that last play. Here's a sack of the quarterback. And coming in is Booker, Albert Booker with a sack. He came into the game with 3 sacks, an interception, and that's his 6th career sack.
Yeah, they're trying to come off the play action. And whenever you can blitz when the team is having play action, the quarterback really doesn't have a lot of chance to get set up. Booker just well-timed. You see, no one blocks him. Hey, if nobody's going to block you, go and knock the quarterback down. Like you said, Charlie, it's his 4th sack on the year. He's had a couple other good stops and tackles for loss today also, so he's putting forth a really good effort on his last Turkey Day Classic.
Social work major out of Miami Central High. Brings up a 2nd and 15 for Alabama State. Jackson wants to keep it this time, or was that Jackson who got the snap? Sometimes they'll snap it to someone other than the quarterback. We've seen that happen in the past.
Tavares Jackson, he can run also. So, I mean, you can't just look at him as purely a passing quarterback, and they'll call some plays specifically designed for him to run. Comes in here with career 976 rushing yards, so he has a good chance to get over 1,000 yards before his career is over on the ground, which a lot of quarterbacks don't have that dimension of throwing and running.
He has 12 yards in this game on 8 attempts. Came into the game with only 3 rushing touchdowns, but he threw for 28 touchdowns this year. In the final minute of the 3rd quarter, going back to pass, Jackson throws over the middle, has it complete, and what a hit. Oh, it's incomplete. You don't want to catch that one anyhow, young man, coming across the middle, and that was Jay Peck, the running back coming out of the backfield. Boy, listen to this hit. You may want to hold on to that. If you're going to get hit, you may as well hold on, right?
That's a big-time hit. I mean, but it was somewhat questionable because that ball was on the ground, so you have to protect the players, the wide receiver. A lot of times they'll say that, hey, defensive guy, but they let that ball proceed. So you're running across the middle, you're going to get hit. Keep your chin strap button tight.
30-yard, 40-yard field goal. We've had 2 in a row blocked. This one will not get there. No good. Off to the right. So, Anthony Johnson has had 2 field goals blocked, but we have a penalty marker, and it's maybe against Tuskegee. So they may have some some new life. And let's look at that hit, and we got offsides. So that gives them a chance to try it once again. It will not give them enough for a 1st down. That was Marcus Wright.
Yeah, what a hit on Jay Peck right there. Marcus Wright. That's a true middle linebacker. You catch a guy coming across the middle, you don't ask questions. You just hit him first. And you try to figure out who he is.
Peck's still trying to figure out where the train came from.
They say that football isn't a contact sport, it's a collision sport. And you can see why on those type of hits give a lot of credit to these young men to go out there and put their bodies on the line. Of course, I always thought that quarterback is the bravest position on the field because you can't see when those big defensive linemen are coming. You're asking a lot out of a guy to get hit by a 300-pounder and just keep his eyes downfield. I don't know how Jay was able to do that.
So this one now will be from 35 yards out, but now we've got a stoppage in play. Illegal substitution. Now it's a 1st down. So now you keep the ball and you don't even try the field goal. It was an illegal substitution. Half the distance to the goal line should give him a 1st down, shouldn't it?
It's going to be close.
Or is it a 5-yard penalty?
Yeah, another 5-yard penalty. But Coach Comegys is going to turn the lights on this program. I mean, on this stadium here. If there's a 1st down off of penalties right here in this situation.
And now a timeout is being called by Tuskegee as they try to figure out what's going on. They had an offsides penalty after the field goal was missed, which gave Alabama State new life. And now we get another penalty. And this one was illegal substitution, so that moves the ball even further down. Don't forget to lace up your skates for ESPNU's coverage of college hockey Friday night. It's the Buckeyes of Ohio State taking on the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, and it's college hockey right here on ESPNU Friday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And for more information, log on to ESPN.com. Final seconds of the third quarter. It's still 4th down, and let's see, they moved the ball.
But let's recap the situation for Tuskegee. I mean, there was a situation where Alabama State just missed the field goal, so they should have been getting the ball with a change of possession. Instead, they're offside, so that's a 5-yard penalty. Then they throw another 5-yard penalty. So not only does Alabama State get to attempt another kick, but they're moving it closer and closer to the goalpost, so it'll be a much easier kick.
But they never moved the ball forward, even on the penalty. It still will be a 35-yard field goal attempt. Something happened there I don't know about.
He got it sorted out. He gets another try.
And this one has the distance, splits the uprights, and it's good. The second chance points for Alabama State. And the clock goes down to 0 on the third quarter. When we come back, it's going to be a fourth quarter action. 21-11, a 10-point advantage for Alabama State over Tuskegee. We'll be back.
Get ready, football fans, for the 2005 SWAC Football Championship game, Saturday, December 10th at 1 o'clock at Legion Field in Birmingham, Alabama. Watch as Grambling State University goes head-to-head with Alabama A&M in a winner-takes-all battle for the SWAC title. Don't miss the bands, the tailgating, and most of all, the pregame performance by Jagged Edge. Tickets are on sale now at Legion Field or at Ticketmaster outlets by calling 1-800-277-1700. For more information, go to SWAC.org. SWAC Football Championship, December 10th. Be there.
You love the NFL. You live for the NFL. To you, the NFL is life itself. And ESPN News is your never-ending source for NFL news, highlights, scores, and stats. With shows like The Blitz and Monday Quarterback.
Successful quarterbacks watch coverage. They do not watch their receivers.
Live press conferences, deep analysis.
They play football the way it's supposed to be played.
All things NFL 24/7. Find it at ESPN News.
Scott? Did you possibly switch chairs with me?
No, not me.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Good luck finding your chair, LeBron.
Okay. Okay.
Here's to the beginning. A chance to carve out a new path. For this time will be different. This is the year we leave our mark. This is the game we play together. This is our season. The colors change, the fires burn, and the possibilities are endless. The NCAA Championships on ESPN.
My name is Izzy Paskowitz, and I've been running surf camps for autistic kids for 7 years. What's perfect for us is see that screaming and the kicking when they go out. And when they turn around and ride that wave in, it's just nothing like it. And there's the parents, tears in their eyes, saying, we've had a lot of tough times, but today was just a perfect day.
Back here as we start the fourth quarter from the 82nd edition of the Turkey Day Classic. Keldrick Williams, pressure on the quarterback, led to an interception, which led to the touchdown by Keldrick Williams, his second of the afternoon, and 10 unanswered points in the second half by Alabama State, and they lead it by 10, 21-11.
And those penalties from Tuskegee has really cost them with the 15-yard penalties, and also Alabama State missed the field goal, and there was a penalty, so they had a chance at the re-kick, and they made it on the second attempt.
Short kick at the 25-yard line. Bringing it back for Tuskegee is Robert Durham. You look at the last scoring drive. 9 plays, 45 yards, 4:47 off the clock. And it was a 35-yard field goal by Anthony Johnson. That's made it a 10-point advantage. First down and 10 for Tuskegee at their own 32-yard line. 2 punts and an interception has been the story for them in the second half. That one interception led to a touchdown. Quarterback keeps it. Huff up the gut. Huff cuts to the outside across midfield. Great run by the quarterback, Kevin Huff. Pushed out of bounds on the far sideline. So a good run by Kevin Huff. Averett finally pushed him out of bounds. Brandon Averett. That was good for 26.
Good play here. You see the fake to the tailback, and then he just follows up behind him. And that's a tough play by the defender because, you don't really know where the quarterback is going. The guys up front are blocking pretty well. Once he gets into the open field, he just uses his speed and is able to have a big run on the play.
First down and 10. Ball resting inside the 40 at the 37 of Alabama State. Fitzhugh, the fake to him, and now the quarterback comes the other way and slides down at the 25-yard line, but gets the first down right inside the 25 at about the 24. So that was a gain of about 12.
Look like it's going to be the Mr. Kevin Huff show here going into the fourth quarter. And you're down by 11. You have an all SIAC quarterback who's also the league MVP. They put the ball in his hands, let him run it, let him throw it. He touches the ball every time he snaps it, so that look at there, you have 106 rushing yards, 107 passing yards, showing both of his dimensions and a touchdown on the day. So he can be the guy who can bring Tuskegee back into this ball game.
On to the right side is Fitzhugh, and he is brought down before he could get up ahead of steam by Bobby Coleman. Coleman on the stop.
They've run that speed option play a couple times. Alabama State seems like they have it figured out just a little bit better now. Of course, the first time you see the option is always tricky, and Dupuis, Gresham, and the rest of those guys are playing a pretty solid game, holding Tuskegee to only 11 points going into the fourth quarter.
2 100-yard rushers in this game, Keldrick Williams and Kevin Huff, and Huff has the ball. Shotgun, throws a pass out the flat, and it's caught. Struggling for more yards is Calvin Russell, but not letting him get away. On the far side is Foster.
2nd and 9 situation right there. You just want to complete a 5-yard pass to give yourself a manageable down and distance on 3rd down. Now they're in a 3rd and 5. Hopefully they can convert and keep this drive going.
They scored the first 2 times they had the ball, a field goal and a touchdown. After that, it's been a couple of punts, and they turn it over on downs as they go forward with Kevin Huff, the quarterback, very close to the first down marker. He may be about a half a yard shy.
I think this is a situation where you really have to talk about going for it on 4th down if he's indeed short of the first down.
He had to get right about the 14-yard line. The ball is resting between the 14 and the 15, and they're gonna measure. You talk about all the great job that Rick Comegys has done here. He's one of the big name coaches in the history of Tuskegee. Such guys as Cleve Abbott and Whitney Van Cleve and Jim Martin, who's now the athletic director over at Alabama A&M. And when you talk about Cleve Abbott, he has been named the American Football Coaches Association's winner of the 2005 Trailblazer Award. It'll be presented posthumously to Abbott at the kickoff luncheon January 9th in Dallas at the Convention Center. So he made his mark on college football, Cleve Abbott, and he's being recognized by the American Football Coaches Association as a trailblazer. So you saw how short they were in terms of getting to the first down marker. Rick Comegys looks like he wants to go for it.
I like the call by Coach Comegys right here. You're down by 11 points. Try to get the first down.
Huff, the quarterback, puts the ball up and goes over. He gets it. Very smart play. just don't get it knocked away, right?
And that's one of those situations, right? You see that happen a lot of time when you're trying to score and you're right on the goal line, which is good because when you stick the ball over the goal line, of course, it's a touchdown and the play is over. But in this situation, from a defender standpoint, when he sticks that ball out, it's a live ball. And you can see, look like it was actually knocked out because the play doesn't stop just when he sticks that ball out. You have to actually wait for his forward progress to stop before they blow the whistle. So when he's stretching for that first down, if you can knock the ball out, then it's a fumble.
That's the second time they've gone for it on 4th down today, and actually they didn't go for it before. It was a bad snap on the well, not a bad snap, but the punter did not handle the ball, and so that's what happened. But it's still called a 4th down play. So they're 1 of 2 at 4th down conversions. It's 1st down and 10. Fitzhugh with the ball, cuts it inside at the 5, down to the 1. Goes Richard Fitzhugh.
Fitzhugh had been quiet a little bit in the 3rd quarter, but he had a great first half, and you can see he's just running downhill. Whoa, you got to get all 3 points of the football right there. He almost fumbled that ball.
Oh, yeah, the big heavies. Where's the beef? You got Anthony Driver there, and Bailey and Ray, Larry Peoples. Hey, they're happy. Robert Bailey's the center. Their big number 61 is Anthony Driver. Comes in at about 3:30. Off to the right side. They keep it on the ground with Jason Finley. Or is that 33 on the carry for Tuskegee University? And that's Deshaun Green taking it in for 6.
Tuskegee opening up the 3rd quarter, and they're right back in the football game. Of course, they have a chance to cut this down to a 3-point lead.
Now for the point after for Tuskegee. It's Echeverry. He's in there for the point after to make it a 3-point ball game. Henderson is the holder. The kick is up and it's good. 21-18 is our score. We're in the 4th quarter. Tuskegee drives all the way down the field. 68 yards for 6.
With my credit, I never thought I'd qualify for a new computer. But with Blue Hippo, all I need is a home phone and a checking account, and approval is guaranteed.
We're talking to people who've discovered Blue Hippo Funding's Guaranteed Approval Program. It doesn't matter if you have bad credit or no credit, because we don't check your credit. Your approval is guaranteed with just an active checking account.
I started my own home business, something I never could have done without a computer.
And if you call in the next 10 minutes, we'll include a multifunction printer, scanner, copier with your order. A $250 value, absolutely free. And we'll also include a brand new digital camera, absolutely free. That's over $500 worth of computer accessories, all for free when you call in the next 10 minutes.
I don't know why anyone wouldn't take advantage of this. It's a great offer.
Mom, can I go on the computer now?
Just a minute.
This is your chance to get a brand new, brand name computer from Blue Hippo, regardless of your credit. And by calling and ordering now, you'll receive this digital camera and this multifunction printer, scanner, copier for free. But you must call now.
The whole set.
Famous pioneers. The Williams sisters. Who led the rebel forces? Jerry Tarkanian. Famous Indian chief. Mike Hargrove.
Nice call on Hargrove.
Lincoln's in the news again. In Lincoln, Nebraska, the Huskers just signed a freight All-American with 4-2.
ESPN Radio. Get your radio on.
Some of the historic covers from past Turkey Day Classics, 82nd edition. And what's your fondest memory of playing in this game, Eddie?
I think your finest memory has to be your senior year because, of course, there's a big senior day here where your mother and your father are able to come onto the field and everybody gets a trophy. It's your 4 years, culminating your athletic career, and most players won't ever play past this. This is their last college football game, so I think it's the homecoming and everything that's done for the seniors that you see a lot of these guys will be playing their last football game ever in their careers.
Oldest among HBCUs. It began back in 1924. You ever lose to Tuskegee your 4 years?
Never lost to Tuskegee. We played them 3 out of the 4 years. It was always very competitive games.
From the 19-yard line, Alabama State brings the ball back up on the kickoff and out to the 31 with 11 minutes and 10 seconds to go. That's where they'll go to work. First down and 10, leading by 3, 21-18. From their own 36, they'll go to work.
And once again, you can see, Charlie, there's a great crowd here. The local people, the fans, they really get behind both of the universities. And this Turkey Day Classic has a lot of bragging rights. So if you have a lot of Tuskegee people, which is only 45 miles down the road from Alabama State, and a lot of friends and family members have went to Tuskegee or Alabama State that are in the same family.
No question about it. First down and 10. From the shotgun, empty backfield, Tavares Jackson going to the air. Under pressure, tried the low flanker screen to Peck, and the pass was just a little too low.
Alabama State with a real good screen game. They've hit Tuskegee with a screen earlier in the game. That was to Keldrick Williams there. They try to slip one to Peck, and they'll run wide receiver and running back screens, and they do a real good job with getting the offensive linemen down the field to get the blocks on those linebackers and safeties.
Tavares Jackson, 8 of 18 today, 83 yards in the passing department. Keldrick Williams has been the workhorse with over 130 yards rushing. Pressure on the quarterback, sacked, second time. Marcus Wright comes in and makes the stop, and we have another sack of the quarterback, Keldrick Williams. I should say Tavares Jackson.
And Tavares Jackson was trying to buy extra time, and the time just ran out. You can see the pressure is starting to come, and the Tuskegee Golden Tigers starting to come, and Marcus Wright is able to corral him down for the sack.
You know, you talk about running out the clock. It's 10 minutes left to go in the game, but down here on the field, you get this atmosphere like Alabama State is trying to run out the clock. At the start of that last drive, with every time the Tuskegee defense was able to make a play on the Hornets, the crowd got louder and louder and louder, and that momentum is completely gone from the Hornets, and it's definitely on the Tuskegee sideline. Back to you.
No question about it right now. I don't see them trying to run out the clock here. They only have a 3-point lead. Here's Jackson trying to get to the corner, cuts it back inside, and is out to the 27-yard line. Not much running room there. He's knocked down by Atron Jackson. And it'll bring up a punting situation, 4th and a lot of real estate.
And you can definitely tell the Tuskegee fans are back up. The 12th man MO momentum is definitely on their side, and they're ready to go. I mean, they had a 10-point deficit. Now they've cut it to 3 and forced a punting situation for Alabama State. So they want to see their big quarterback, Kevin Huff, and of course Kenny Henderson, their star receiver, put some more points on the board.
You see how they digress. That drive started at their own 36. They're punting from their own 27, so they lost 9 yards on the drive. Punt for Alabama State. Anthony Johnson. Blocked by special teams Torres Mosley. Mosley comes in and blocks it. Special teams has been an Achilles heel for Alabama State today.
Yeah, definitely. They've had the 2 field goals blocked, and now they have the punt block. Definitely something they need to prepare.
Mosley with the block. Beats his man on the protection, Desmond Foster. Great field position for Tuskegee.
Local and long distance, high-speed internet, digital satellite TV, and singular wireless. You can arrange your SBC services however you want to create a flexible plan that fits your needs. Makes cable seem like, well, history. SBC, now joined with AT&T.
you go. Introducing the new X Games inspired Moto X bike. Built for performance, 20-inch BMX dual suspension, front and rear disc brakes, and Moto X styled saddle and fenders. The X Games Moto X bike. Ride Moto X style.
ESPN College Game Day.
It don't get any better than this.
College Game Day, built by the Home Depot. Saturdays at 10:30 on ESPN.
Hey, you want to see something cool?
Now you can hang out with an NFL quarterback.
Hey, I'm coming to your house.
Fathead are larger-than-life wall graphics that bring all the NFL action right into your home or office.
Fathead is huge. That's how big a Fathead is.
Just peel in place. Fathead is easy to put up and can be moved over and over.
The coolest thing is, put it on the wall, you don't like it there, peel it off, put it on another wall.
Too big and real for retail stores? Just visit fathead.com to find all of your favorite Fathead teams and players. Officially licensed by the National Football League and Players, Inc.
Fathead is the coolest thing out right now. You get a fat head.
Fathead are for true NFL enthusiasts only.
Take those posters off the wall, kick them out, and put on Fathead.
Fathead. Go big. Real big.
What are you looking at? Hello, people in TV land, get a Fathead.
21-18 our score. There's Torres Mosley, a senior out of Booker T. Washington High in Atlanta. And the kicking game for Alabama State today has gone south. That block by Henderson, and then Harris comes up with a block. And here's Torres Mosley, first-team all-conference player, leading tackler for Tuskegee. And you see why he made first team this year. Here they are with Fitzhugh carrying the ball, trying to go to the right side. Let's go down to Jay.
You know, you talk about the special teams for Alabama State. That's been their hindrance all season long. And many people will point to a very important moment for Alabama State where the season started to go on a downturn. We covered the Magic City Classic, and there was a punt return by Alabama A&M that started the downward spiral of what has become the Alabama State Hornet football season for 2005. Back to you.
And that game, they started with a first extra point miss of the game, and then forced them to go for the two-point conversion 3 times. They led 22-16 at half. Should have had 24 points on the board. Then they missed a pair against Mississippi Valley. So they struggled in the PAT department and the kicking department. Here's the pass into the corner. Almost intercepted. Defending downfield was Averett.
And Averett, every time you see Alabama State's defense get into this red zone situation, of course, he's a 5'7", 160-pound sophomore from Phoenix City, Alabama. All of the opposing coaches instantly think that they have a mismatch. But you can see he plays that ball perfectly. He pins the receiver to the sideline and gets his head around and is able to knock the ball away. Great play by Brandon Averett for a 5'7", 160-pound cornerback.
Going up against Calvin Russell, who's 6'1". Now Tuskegee calls a timeout, facing a 3rd down and 10. And again, you look at the fact that Alabama State has struggled. We talked about the Mississippi Valley game. They missed 2 extra points early in their loss there. You know, so there's enough blame to go around. Defense has been inconsistent, special teams play, and the offense sputtered for Alabama State in closing minutes of those 3 SWAC losses, which dashed any hopes they had of their 3rd straight SWAC championship.
I mean, the season was cruising along extremely well, like Jay said. I mean, they were 6-1. They were up 16-0 against Alabama A&M. And once that punt return was returned for a touchdown, it just seemed like all of the special team woes was causing them to lose ball games. And you can see today with 3 block kicks, it's very seldom that you're able to win a game or overcome those type of situations when you have 3 kicks blocked in one game.
Tuskegee only turned the ball over once. They threw an interception. Don't forget ESPNU's coverage of college football continues this Saturday afternoon. It's a Big East matchup between the Orange of Syracuse and number 17th rated Cardinal of Louisville. College football on ESPNU. It comes your way Saturday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. And for more information, we ask you to log on to ESPN.com. 3rd down and 10 for the Golden Tigers. They're 3 of 10 in 3rd down conversions today. Huff with time, stands, throws, complete to Fitzhugh. 1st and goal at the 3.
Great job on the 3rd down conversion by Huff. You see he has time to bake a pizza in the backfield. No pressure. He buys time. And, hey, nobody's open downfield. Throw it to your check down, Richard Fitzhugh, and he's able to get the 1st down. good job of being patient, scanning the whole field and realizing, hey, I'm going to take what the defense gives me, which is number 3, Richard Fitzhugh, for the reception in the first down.
Up 12 of 19 passing today, 122 yards, 6 different receivers, and for Fitzhugh, that's his 17th reception of the year. First down and goal for Tuskegee. Trying to take the lead. Fitzhugh with the ball. Will not get there. Dupuis was the man who hit him.
Once again, Dupuis, you can tell, another tackle for loss. He's been very active today all over the fields, making great plays on defense. Also was able to tackle the punter when he had a muff punt. So his senior season, he wants it to go out a winner here in this Turkey Day Classic.
All the seniors do on both sides of the ball.
It's almost one of those games where it's a shame that someone has to lose, Charlie, because it's such a great atmosphere and a festive day and such a big classic for both sides. And, of course, homecoming for Alabama State. Everybody wants to win this ball game.
Second and goal from the 3. The quarterback will keep it. Gets to the 1. Won't get any further. Demetrius Derrico had help from his friends. And they stopped up shy of the goal line.
Huff seems to lost his helmet. Big third down situation here for both teams is Tuskegee can take the lead with the go-ahead touchdown. Great call. I mean, you have a running quarterback. He is just like another running back in the backfield. Give credit to Alabama State, Billy Gresham, Dupuis. All of those guys have been tough all year long, and they're standing up and trying to make another goal line stand. So they came into this drive on a short field because of the block punt.
Deion Lewis, the man shaken up, and we were talking about Fitzhugh, and Jay alluded to him in the first half about the academic problems he had earlier on, and he told his mom when he finished this year he was going to come out with a 3.0 grade point average, and he's trying to live up to that promise. He's a mechanical engineering major, and he has that 3.0 right now. He has turned his academic standards around. Let's go down to Jay. Yes, it is. Jay?
Hey, we talk about the Turkey Day Classic being a family affair. Well, Eddie, you know, this may not be one of your family. This is your old coach from Alabama State. He said you look real pretty up there in the booth, but you need to give him 15 when this game is over with. But we're talking about the food and the grub. I'm going to start my Thanksgiving a little bit early. This is Thanksgiving for me, a nice little hot dog. It's going to be good, though. But E-Rob, since you are from Alabama State, he said he got some fried turkey waiting for you over there. Talk about Coach Davis as a player. Coach Davis, talk about what type of player was Eddie Rob.
Well, we're at Eddie Robinson right now. We'll probably be a bigger lead than we'll have now. So.
All right,
thanks, Coach. We need you right now, though. Let's see what the Hornets do.
All right. Third and goal. Full house backfield. The ball is loose. Alabama State has it. Alabama State has it, I believe. Let's see who's at the bottom of the pile. Jamal Johnson, number 71.
Also had the interception on the day, so 2 huge turnovers by Jamal Johnson.
Second turnover of the day by Tuskegee. This could be costly. 6:18 to go, trailing by 3.
Let's see what happened. Oh, just a bad center exchange. Looked like the center was trying to get going a little too fast in order to make his block, and Huff couldn't get out of there with the ball. Jamal Johnson, very opportunistic, has an interception on the day for a defensive lineman and also a fumble recovery to directly take points off of the board.
Big JJ, Jamal Johnson, out of Phoenix City, Alabama, and Central High. First and 10. Alabama State leading by 3. They have the ball deep in their own territory after the turnover. Off to the left side, Keldrick Williams sheds 1 tackle, but cannot get away from Jonathan Harris. And we have a player shaken up for Alabama State right at about the 2-yard line. One of the offensive linemen. He's a little slow getting up, but he looks like he's going to be all right. That's number 77. That was a little slow getting up for Alabama State. Sylvester Hatton. There's the story of the game so far. Tuskegee 3 block kicks, 2 field goals and a punt. Alabama State forced 2 turnovers, an interception, and the fumble just moments ago.
And you can see going back and forth. Both teams can say, you know, somebody's going to lose this football game. Of course, Alabama State can say we can blame it on the block kicks. Tuskegee with the 2 turnovers, but in the end of the day, what should have happened, happened. And now we're in a situation where Alabama State has a big break after that turnover.
Maddox, the man in motion. Keldrick Williams with the ball into the secondary and shy of the 15, but should have enough for the first down. Let's see where they spot the ball. It's going to be very close. That was a second down play, 2nd and 7. Keldrick Williams giving his team a little breathing room deep in their own territory, that is. Officials are going to come in and measure. Talked about the fact that a number of these players from Tuskegee made the all-SIAC team. 8 made the first team. Kevin Huff, Kenneth Henderson, Johnny Williams on the defensive line, Torres Mosley, the linebacker, and Echeverry, the place kicker. As we look at the chain, it is going to be short by inches. It's going to bring up a 3rd down. Second team, Robert Bailey, Atron Jackson, and Lee Smith. The most valuable player on offense, of course, we mentioned Huff. Defensively, the player of the year came out of Albany State, Alton Petway. 11 sacks and 17 tackles for him. The freshman of the year, the quarterback from Lane, Sherrod Ellis, 16 touchdowns, 2,500 yards passing. And the coach of the year, Albany State's Mike White. Congratulations, Tavares Jackson on the keeper. Let's see if he got it. Should have it.
Only needed an inch or two, so that's always a good call when you have a big physical quarterback like Tavares Jackson. Usually you can push ahead and get that 1 inch. And keep in mind that Alabama State's defense was able to stop them and get this that 3rd down fumble because Tuskegee got the ball at the 15-yard line, so they were in great scoring position.
They certainly were.
Have to give credit to the Alabama State Hornet defense for recovering that fumble, and now the offense can just come out and run a couple of plays, get a couple first downs. They can really wear down this clock and not give Tuskegee a lot of time to do anything as far as coming back in this football game.
We talked about Charles Coe and his ability to win 20 games faster than anybody ever in Alabama State history. He got the job almost like by default as we try to keep it on the ground and go to the right side. When he got the job, they just fired L.C. Cole and his coaching staff, and it happened just before the season started. In fact, he had to come in at the last minute and try to figure out what was going on, who the players were, and he still managed to put up an 8-5 record in his first year.
Yeah, he did a good job. I mean, taking a program that was, you know, in a good situation when he got in it, but a real late fire and a late hire, and it's always tough when you come in here and don't really know your players. But he had some good guys like Tavares Jackson and Keldrick Williams, and each year they seem to get better and better. I mean, especially Tavares Jackson. Every time I see him play, his decision-making process improves, and he's really becoming a student of the game.
Here he is going to the air, throws it to the back, coming out of the backfield, and that is Lee Carter on the reception, covered by a linebacker downfield. Torres Mosley been all over the field.
You would expect Lee Carter to be wide open because he only has 1 reception on the year, so you're probably not expecting him to be a big factor in the passing game. But that's just a great bootleg play. Just dump it off to the back. It's an extension of the running game. Get the big guy running downhill, and you also keep the clock moving.
3:33 the time remaining, and a 3-point lead by the Hornets, and a big 3rd down facing them right now. Alabama State 50% in 3rd down conversions today, 6 of 12. Pass incomplete, brings up a 4th down. The receiver separated from the ball. That was Maddox who was trying to make the catch, but it was Ramon Nickerson who said no. Big hit.
That's how you want to finish the play. Ramon Nickerson, number 14. You can see he puts that left hand on the ball, goes through the ball and through the receiver, has no chance to really bring that in. Tavares Jackson actually threw the ball behind the receiver just a little bit, and that gave Ramon Nickerson a chance to recover and knock the ball out of the receiver's hand.
Now let's continue this kicking adventure for Alabama State.
Last punt was blocked.
They come again. This is a returnable one, but at midfield is where Tuskegee will go to work. It should be a whale of a finish. 3:06 remaining. 21-18 our score. We're in Montgomery.
For 3 days in November, 2 conferences lay it all on the line.
Never count them out, ever.
When it's over, only one will reign supreme.
They are legit.
ESPN presents the Big Ten ACC Challenge. Don't miss 2 of the nation's strongest conferences in a one-of-a-kind early season clash. The Big Ten ACC Challenge presented by Cisco Systems. Wisconsin versus Wake Forest at 7. Illinois versus North Carolina at 9. Tuesday on ESPN.
Thanks for filling in, Mr. Urlacher.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Happy to help.
Join us in March for ESPN The Weekend at the Walt Disney World Resort. There's something for every fan. Visit ESPNtheWeekend.com today. Presented by Speedstick 24/7.
In sports, you always got to bring out your A game, especially when you play CNET Sports, powered by ESPN. Oh, yeah, this one's mine. This is a new DVD board game hosted by Dan Patrick. Has tons of trivia questions.
Grant Hill, the X Games. 9.
And clips from every major sport. I know this.
Immaculate reception.
But with us, you just don't want to come in last.
Introducing CNET Sports, powered by ESPN. The ultimate DVD game for the ultimate sports fan. Have you seen it?
It's not okay.
21-18 our score, 3:06 the time remaining. The ball resting just across midfield at the 49-yard line of Alabama State. The biggest win in this contest, 42 points by Tuskegee. Last shutout, 1972. Most points scored, 85. That was early on, back in 1902, by the time I was born. The run to the right side, keeping it on the ground. Huff lined up as a wide receiver, and the wide receiver lined up at quarterback. Henderson. Jay?
Okay, all right, cool.
I think Jay went to sleep on us.
Yeah, those Tigers are a little tricky. They're putting Kenton Henderson, their punt returner, putting back at the quarterback spot and just running a direct snap.
Here's Huff now with the ball. He is tied at about the 41, 42-yard line.
That looked like the old clothesline tackle right there, Charlie.
It was a clothesline tackle, along with Kerry Frazier there to make the stop.
Fortunate there was no penalty on that play, as you can see. Wow, just a great play by Kerry Frazier, just coming in underneath the defender, getting that big left paw on the quarterback and able to rip him down. Now it's a crucial third down situation once again for the Tuskegee Tigers.
To a 4 of 12 on third downs today. And a flag is down. Somebody moved prematurely up front.
It looked like they have offsides on Alabama State. The center did a smart thing. Once the defender was in the line of scrimmage area, it looked like he snapped the ball. See if that's the call.
That's what it is. You see Henderson helping the officials make the call. Alabama State's third penalty today, and here's the information on the series with Alabama State. Their biggest win was 43 points. The last time there was a shutout by them was 1988, which is a moot point today, but the most points scored in modern day history was 58. They did that back in 1995. But Tuskegee has an advantage in this series. Alabama State trying to narrow that deficit. First down and 10 after the 5-yard offside penalty. Clock down to a minute 34. They could get in position at least to kick a field goal, if not score a touchdown. Here's Fitzhugh, and Fitzhugh has a first down inside the 25 to the 23-yard line. Of course, they would rather just win it in regulation rather than kicking the field goal, but a big run of 13 yards by Richard Fitzhugh.
The easiest thing is just to score a touchdown and go home and eat some turkey. So we'll see if Tuskegee can pull this game out. You look like the big guys have their helmets stuck together. That's a problem.
Yeah, somebody's going to break somebody's face mask. But a big run by Fitzhugh for Tuskegee. 13 yards.
I guess that shows you the level of collisions that these guys have. I mean, when they bump into each other,
And watch this. 13 yards.
Yeah, just finishing off that run. Big hole. Alabama State has to be aware of the draw. You can't just think pass, even though it's a 2-minute situation.
Here's an option by Kevin Huff, and Huff is down inside the 20 to the 18. Looked like it was a little confusion on that play as he wanted to look for a pitch man, but there was nobody there.
Yeah, I mean, no one was at home on the pitch, like you said, so he did the next best thing was turn it off. And Huff seems to do a good job of always getting a couple of extra yards when you think he's stopped. Some kind of way he just snakes in and moves through the line, and next thing you know, it's a 5-yard pickup.
As you look at Echeverry warming up on the sideline in case of the field goal. Here's Huff going off the right side. Drop at the 15. Let's go down to Jay.
Hey, as this game heats up, they may rely on Roosevelt Echeverry, and he'd be the go-to guy. You see, Echeverry is a tough kid. And after his sophomore season, he recovered from a stab wound to take over kicking duties this year. And he's been on the money this year with only one missed field goal attempt. We know he got dinged up earlier, but Coach Comagese has all the confidence in the world in his young kicker if the game comes down to it with the game on the line. Back to you.
Yeah, and sports a 3.2 grade point average in biology. The senior from Montgomery, Alabama.
Be a lot of pressure on him. Like you said, in order to send this game into overtime, he would need that field goal. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm sure Tuskegee wants to score a touchdown right now and not take it to overtime. I mean, those turkey dinners are getting cold. You don't want to be in here playing too many overtime games.
Remember, they had an opportunity to take the lead the last time they had the ball. They got all the way down to the 3-yard line and fumbled the ball. And Alabama State recovered. So that stopped that drive, and now they get the ball back with an opportunity. As you look at Echeverry, his only miss of a field goal this year came against Morehouse, I should say against Stillman. It was a 29-yarder. Previous to today, his longest was 42 yards, and that came against Morehouse. But today, he's been pretty good. He hit a 45-yarder to open the scoring here this afternoon. Rick Comagese. Team facing a 3rd and 2 at the 15 of Alabama State. From the shotgun. Going to the air. Going to the corner. Henderson. Out. No good. Didn't get his foot down.
That was as close as it could get.
Yes,
and from here, it looked like it could have easily been a touchdown. You have to see the replay on that, but great job by Henderson getting behind the defender in that situation. Huff throwing a perfect pass into the corner of the end zone, and that's as close as you can get it as far as touchdown or out of bounds. Let's take a look at it. He lands. Oh, the left foot is on the line.
No question. If he could have kept the left foot up in the air and got that right foot down, he'd have been in business. Right now, we're looking at Echeverry coming on now. Jay, you were right there.
Yeah, you know what happened? One of the feet came down in, but the other foot came down out. They both landed at the same time. It was a jump stop. Had he been able to drag the toe like they teach folks in the NFL, he might have gotten it, but it was a great effort there. But football, every so often, is just a game of inches, even though we measure it 1 yard at a time.
It certainly was, and there were inches there that kept Tuskegee from taking a lead here with 27 seconds to go. So Echeverry will come on. It'll be a 32-yard field goal attempt. And it'll come from the right hash mark. Now that doesn't make it automatic because of your right-footed kicker. It's more of a tendency to hook it.
Yeah, it's easy to hook this ball. And of course, those hashes, not like the NFL hashes, they're a little bit wider, so have a little more hook on this ball. So we'll see if Roosevelt can come in here and knock this kick through and send this game into overtime.
And that's what he's trying to do with 27 seconds to go. It'll be only the 4th overtime game in the history of the Classic, should that happen. Henderson is the holder. The wide receiver. And now Tuskegee is going to burn a timeout. I should say Alabama State's going to burn a timeout to try to give Mr. Echeverry something to think about. There's Charles Coe. Tuskegee's out of timeouts. Alabama State does have one left. There's Mr. Echeverry. Senior, local kid. First team all SIAC this year. Jay?
You know what, we talked coming into this game about the play of the quarterbacks, but I think you got to give credit to both defenses. Both teams came in here with question marks on defense, and for Alabama State, they were the bigger question mark. But in the second half, they basically dominated this football game, and when they could have caved in on several occasions, they've managed to make Tuskegee settle for a field goal. So hats off to both defenses, and every time the Alabama State defense comes off the field, the crowd is giving them a standing ovation, guys.
Well, I know they are. You look at this Tuskegee team, and we've talked about all the history of Tuskegee, and the people have been there. You know, they were the first HBCU team to win a 500 games as a football team with a 21-16 win. And who did they beat? Alabama State. Here's the field goal attempt. This will be a 32-yard attempt for Echeverry to tie it. Snap is good. It's up. It is good. We're tied with 23 seconds to go.
Give a lot of credit to number 13, Roosevelt Echeverry. Remember, he was banged up earlier, and we didn't know if he would return. We thought he may have had a minor head bruise or concussion or something, but showing a lot of mental toughness to come back here in this situation with your team down by 3, coming from the right hash, and he puts it right through the middle of the goalpost. Perfect execution, snap, hold, and kick.
So for Mr. Echeverry, his second field goal of the afternoon, he opened the scoring with a 45-yarder. He just hit a 32-yarder to put his team up and tie them. I shouldn't say in the lead, but to tie the score at 21 apiece.
We'll see if Tavares Jackson can come out with any late game magic. They still have one timeout left with 22 seconds left. I think a lot of it will depend on what type of return they can get. If they can get a big return, maybe they can have 1 or 2 big pass plays, get a timeout, and possibly have a chance to get a field goal of their own and not take this game into overtime.
Well, the crowd's still here. The bands are rejoicing in the stands, and it's a great Thanksgiving day here in Montgomery, Alabama. You wouldn't want to ask for better weather, better crowd, and a better football game.
Perfect day.
The kick. Far side. Desmond Foster gets it back to the 20. Alabama State 80 yards away with 15 seconds to go in regulation. They're going to mark it at about the 23.
See what Coach Cole decides. Does he want to be aggressive and try to throw 1 or 2 passes down the field, or will he just settle for the overtime and try to win the game that way?
Second week we've seen an overtime game, Jay.
No way. Hey, overtime is special, but if you're Coach Cole and company, you got to take a knee. You don't want Tavares Jackson to take any more hits trying to force something. You clearly lost momentum. Blow the whistle, come out, try and score first in overtime, and I guess the only luck you're going to need to see if you win the coin toss.
Well, you can see by the way they're lining up, they are going to take a knee. They're not going to try anything fancy. And Tavares Jackson does do that to run out the clock. Remember, Tuskegee can't stop it. They have no timeouts left. So that's the way this regulation is going to end as the clock continues to tick down to end the regulation. So we will go into overtime, and we will explain the rules of overtime when we come back. All tied at 21 apiece. The annual Turkey Day Classic. Tuskegee, Alabama State.
Hitch a ride with rock and roll legend John Fogerty on the long road home.
I see the moon rising.
The Long Road Home, the ultimate John Fogerty Creedence collection. Spanning the career of one of rock's most legendary voices, this one-of-a-kind collection combines the greatest hits from both Creedence Clearwater Revival and his solo career, including Center Field.
Oh, put me in cold. I'm ready to play.
Have You Ever Seen the Rain?
I want to know, have you ever seen the rain?
Down on the Corner.
Down on the corner, out in the street.
25 of John Fogerty's greatest hits. The Long Road Home is an essential part of any music collection. To order John Fogerty The Long Road Home, call the number on your screen or order online at tvatlas.com. $18.98 plus $4.95 shipping and handling. Rush delivery available. Call now.
Last Thanksgiving, about 2 million people tried to deep fat fry their turkey.
15 succeeded in setting their houses on fire. At Christmas, there was a lot of driving over the river and through the woods and a little bit of skidding on the ice and taking out Grandma's garage door. So while you're celebrating, Allstate will be standing by. Trouble never takes the holiday. Neither should your insurance. That's Allstate, Stan. Are you in good hands?
All tied at 21 apiece as we get ready for overtime here in Montgomery, Alabama. The last time these two teams were tied was back in 1947. It was 26 apiece, and they didn't have overtime rules back then, but today we do, and here it is. Each team will come to midfield as we do at the beginning of the game for a coin toss for the choice of offense, defense, or which end of the field. Each team will get a possession from the opponent's 25-yard line per the overtime until a winner is decided. There's no game clock or play. There's a play clock only. And after the second overtime, if you score a touchdown, you must go for the two-point conversion. So that's the rules of overtime. And you talked about momentum. Your thoughts as we go into the overtime. The kicking advantage right now, if it gets into a field goal situation, you would have to favor Tuskegee.
Yes, I think Alabama State really needs to score a touchdown more than Tuskegee does because they've had 2 kicks blocked today, 2 field goals, and also a punt. So they definitely don't want to be in a situation where they have to rely on the field goal to win this football game.
I think the referee's waiting on us. I don't know why he's standing there, not bringing the captains to the middle of the field. But here we go. Captain's coming to the middle of the field. Coach Rick Homagee's talking things over with his players over the sideline. Charles Cole doing the same thing, or had been, on the Alabama State side.
Got a new ball game, fellas. Over there, I want to congratulate you doing a football game. Good team game.
Tuskegee is the visiting team, so they'll get the coin toss.
Of course, the first thing you want to do is try and win the coin toss.
Some teams, yeah, you want to win the coin toss, but even if you do, a lot of teams defer. Alabama State looks like they won the toss.
And Alabama State has elected to defer, so we'll see which side Tuskegee wants to defend.
And which end of the field they want to work. So they're probably going, let's see which end of the field. That's what we're waiting to find out.
I would assume they want to use the side that has the big scoreboard, but the clock isn't running, so it's not a big factor. You still have the 25-second clock at the end of each end zone, so it's not really a big factor as far as where you want to work. Maybe the bands, because they're in the end zone on this side.
All right, let's go down to Jay.
Eddie, you touched on a good point. I know as being a quarterback myself, in overtime, I always wanted to go away from where the bands were. I don't want to give the opposing team an opportunity to maybe play music at the wrong moment at an inopportune time. So as a quarterback, I always like to go in overtime away from where the bands were to make sure that everybody could hear me. We already know the crowd noise is going to become a factor once they start this session, but why not have no crowd, no band noise, but just crowd noise, fellas?
Well, they're going to go down on your end of the field, Jay, as we look at it, to our left, and they're going to play from the 25-yard line, and it'll be Tuskegee getting the ball to start the overtime. And of course, the advantage of going on defense first is you know what you have to do once the opponents get the ball for at least 4 downs or they score.
Exactly.
Coach designing plays right on the side of the wall.
Forgot the chalkboard in Tuskegee, so hey, we just have to improvise.
1st and 10. We're in overtime here. Option to the right. Huff takes it down to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Tuskegee.
That's the thing with the option. You can defend it well all day, but you make one mistake. You don't have a man assigned to the quarterback, or he doesn't get to the quarterback. Have a guy like Huff, he'll turn it up, and get the ball into the end zone. His 2nd rushing touchdown on the day. Here you go. Just running the speed option. There's the one guy going to the pitch. No one shows up on the quarterback. Huff has the speed to outrun the defender and get into the end zone.
Bobby Coleman had a shot at him close to the 5, and that's as close as Alabama State came to making a stop that time. Here's Echeverry to make it a 7-point ball game right now. 33-26. Good.
Now Alabama State is forced to.
I'm giving him extra points. It was 28-21.
Here you see the score. Once again, it's just called a speed option. He's trying to option off the guy on the edge of the line, but the inside linebackers from Alabama State weren't able to scrape. The cornerback has to make a decision. Do I take the quarterback? Do I take the pitch? Either way, you're wrong. He doesn't have enough body to help him. Doesn't have enough people out there to help him. And Kevin Huff, with his athletic ability, is able to run into the end zone.
Now the pressure's on Alabama State. They must score a touchdown. So even if they get a 4th down situation, they're going to have to go for it.
And that's good to know, because your play calling should reflect that. You know that you're going for it on 4th down beforehand. So if you do get into a 3rd down situation, you still have 2 plays to move the chains for a 1st down.
Field goal does them no good. And carrying the ball off the right side on the ground, getting down to about the 14-yard line is Robert Randolph. Randolph, only his 2nd carry tonight. 23 yards on 2 attempts. The big rusher has been Keldrick Williams in this game for Alabama State with 145 yards and a pair of touchdowns, and he's not in the lineup right now. Second and 6. Going to the air. Should be intercepted. Knocked away. It could have been intercepted back there, but Jonathan Harris just wasn't aggressive enough, I don't think.
Yeah, you're trying to run a double move on the cornerback. The safety was in great position. He came over the top. Looked like he had a play on the ball, but wasn't able to pull it in. Let's take a look here.
Looked like he ran away from it.
Yeah, I think he may have just misjudged the ball, because that's an easy catch. That's an easy interception that he should make. You can see Huff is like, oh, man.
Oh, yeah, that's game.
That's a ball game. You go home with that catch right there.
3rd down and 6.
Now Alabama State, they still have a 4th down. They're going for it on 4th down, so it's a 2-down play right here, so they can have a short play. They don't have to get the 1st down.
Swing pass out to Robert Randolph, who cuts back inside and gets the 1st down inside the 15 to about the 13-yard line. So the chains move.
And the good thing about him getting tackled at the 13-yard line is he can still get a 1st down before they have to score the touchdown. So Alabama State here moving down the field. We'll see if they can get this into the end zone and possibly force a 2nd overtime.
We kept talking about a game of inches. We saw the catch by Henderson where his foot came down on the line. You saw it was a game of inches on the missed interception by Jonathan Harris. So here we go with 1st down and 10 at the 13-yard line. Jackson back to pass, has it complete. And running out of bounds is Chris Maddox. Maddox with his 2nd reception today. They've thrown to him a couple times, but it's only the 2nd time they've connected.
See the Alabama State defenders hoping that they do get another chance to extend this football season to 1 more overtime. Of course, it'll take Tavares Jackson in offense to get it in the end zone and then kick the extra point successfully, which has been a chore also this season.
It has. 28-21 is the score right now. We're in overtime. Alabama State with the ball. Hoffman is the man in motion. The handoff to Keldrick Williams. Not much running room there for Mr. Williams, who has over 145 yards in this game. Williams, the glider, 9th all-time SWAC behind Walter Dean, who was number 8 in rushing. Walter Dean from Grambling.
Keldrick Williams, of course, is over 3,000 career yards. Not many players in the conference can boast that record. So the end of a very good career for Keldrick Williams also. Let's see how it ends, on the upside or on the down note.
3 running backs from Alabama State with 3,000 yards. Here's the pass. Alvance Robinson shy, but should have enough for the 1st down. Shy of the goal line, but it should be 1st and goal at about the 3. And I was talking about the running backs with 3,000 yards at Alabama State. Brad Baxter Rico White for the other two.
Of course, Brad Baxter went on to play with the New York Jets, but here, leading receiver Al Vance Robinson is able to get the first down with this, which is the biggest thing here. Gives them another 4 set of downs from the 2-yard line to try to punch it in.
First and goal, Carter, Randolph, and Keldrick Williams. Boy, he is leveled by the middle linebacker, Marcus Wright.
That could be a game-changing play right there by Marcus Wright because it's a big tackle for loss. But look at a hit. I don't know how Keldrick holds on to that ball. Marcus Wright just able to slice through there and just go helmet to helmet and make big-time contact on that play.
From Herschel Jenkins High, Savannah, Georgia. He's a computer science major, senior, Marcus Wright.
And Keldrick Williams goes back to the coach and said, "Coach, let's not run that play anymore today. Let's shelf that one till next year when I'm not here." Look at Hoffman at the top. You have a mismatch with the size. May run a fade route.
Here's the pitch to Williams going left. Knocked down at the 3-yard line, and it was again big number 55, Marcus Wright, there to make the stop.
And Keldrick Williams is taking some big hits on these last 2 plays. He's going to need some aspirin with his turkey tonight because he's going to have a headache. Look at him going downhill. I mean, you got to appreciate the toughness of the little guy, just sticking his head in there. Marcus Wright once again introducing himself. These guys will be big friends by the time this game is over.
Here's Keldrick Williams, over 145 yards today, rushing, 20 carries, 146 to be exact. 2 touchdowns, trying to get in the end zone again. 3rd down and goal from the 3. Jackson throwing. Touchdown. Held on
what
to
a catch.
What a catch by Maddox. Chris Maddox with the reception. With the defender draped all over him. He managed to pull it in. So, Tavares Jackson with his first touchdown pass of the day. He hadn't completed a lot of passes, and this one good for 6. And now for the point after, Anthony Johnson.
There's a penalty on the play also. It's interesting to see what this play is. But that's the situation of 2 guys just fighting over the last turkey leg.
Jay?
One of the Tuskegee coaches just went belligerent when they did not call that an interception, and they gave the touchdown to Alabama State. Consequently, that may hurt his team because I'm thinking Alabama State is going to get this penalty, get closer to the goal line, and if I'm Alabama State, go for the win now. You lost momentum early in the game. You get an opportunity to get a yard and a half in order to win your last game of the season. I think you got to go for it here.
And I like Jay's analogy. I mean, that'd be a tough call. That's like Gruden down there in Tampa Bay, which he did against the Washington Redskins when the ball was moved just a little bit closer. It'd be a real gutsy call by the coach. But here, look at Tavares Jackson. Got to give the receiver a lot of credit. He just fights for it. That's like the last turkey leg at dinner. And I don't know, that may be an interception. I can see why the Tuskegee coaches were upset. I mean, both players came down with the ball and looked like it may have been wrestled away before possession was established. So that's a very dicey call.
Let's look at it once again. Here it is. Here's the ball up into the hands of Maddox. The defender is there.
Hey, I can't see that replay, but I saw the play right here, and clearly they both came down with the ball. There was no question about it. 2 feet down. They got into a wrestling match when they were trying to bring him down. Maddox did a great job of catching the ball with his hands and keeping him high and exposed where the official could see it. I don't know what happened on the ground, but down here on the field level, it was clearly a touchdown from my angle.
Gerard Simpson was the defender down there for Tuskegee, who was battling Maddox for the ball. There's Mr. Simpson, a sophomore out of Birmingham, Alabama, from Homewood High. And I could see where the coach had the argument there, but again, most of the times in that situation, tie is going to go to the receiver.
Always, especially because it's in the end zone. And soon as you have the catch and you establish 2 feet in the end zone, the play is over. What happens after that is consequential. There's nothing else that you can really say about it. But here you see it once again.
Where are the feet of the receiver?
Maddox with the catch, his hands, he has, I think that's a touchdown at that point. Anything else that happens after that is all academic. Great call by the referee, but I can understand the disappointment in the Tuskegee sideline.
But that's the touchdown there. That's just like when the ball, as we said earlier, breaks the plane. That's it.
Yeah, once he has possession right there, both feet are in bounds, that's a touchdown. Anything else, now you have to give Jared Simpson a lot of effort of trying to make a great play and pulling that interception away. But it's a touchdown. The play is over. Anything else doesn't matter.
So now does Alabama State go for the 2 with the chance of winning it or maybe not making it? And Tuskegee walks away. What would you do in this situation?
I would go for 2. I mean, you're that close. I mean, instead of the 3 yards at the 1.5 yard point, hey, give it a try.
There's the coach downfield. He's all the way down in the end zone. And they're trying to get the coach back. That can be costly. They are going to go for it. The 2-point conversion to win this one. The 82nd edition of the Turkey Day Classic. Carter, Williams, Randolph are the backs. Jackson for 2. Make that. Keldrick Williams. Or was the ball taken away? I don't know what's going on. There's a player from Tuskegee running back up the sideline. What happened? Jay, what happened? You're down there.
He fumbled the ball short of the end zone. Game is over. I saw it. I didn't see an official signal. He didn't look like he got in there. I think the football game is over. Defensive back got the ball, but he clearly didn't have that ball from my view when he crossed the end zone.
Well, the officials in the middle of the field.
No instant replay, no help from the booth. These guys will have to sort it out. And, man, you can imagine all of the different things that are going on in their ear right now because there hasn't been a signal on the field.
I didn't know what happened. I just saw a Tuskegee player running back up the field with the football.
And the referees still haven't made a sign at half the conference now. And
these are the games as an official you don't want to be in.
Well, this is the game that you tell you got to crank the car because we're getting out of here quick. Either way, one half of this stadium is going to be extremely upset.
So you just couldn't make the call.
Well, I just heard into what they said and what you heard the referee saying. 2 officials that are supposed to make that call did not see that he had possession. Now, what the umpire is saying is, if you guys didn't see it, we got to go game over. I think they're going to end this football game because 2 officials both said they didn't see it. They
yeah, but it's over either way. But who wins?
That's the question.
It's over either way. If it's a touchdown, it's over. If it's a fumble, it's over.
And they gave it to the fumble. They gave it to the Tuskegee Tigers.
So Tuskegee wins it. And they win it in overtime on a controversial play at the end of the contest. Whether or not the plane had been broken by the running back, Keldrick Williams, who was trying for his 3rd touchdown of the evening. And instead, coming out with it was Robert Durham. And preserving the win, the 2nd straight win for Tuskegee. 4 straight losses down the stretch for Alabama State, who had gone 6 straight games with a victory. What a win. Let's look at it once again. You be the judge. Was Keldrick Williams in the end zone? Did the ball break the plane? He's hit there. Hard to tell. I don't think he's over the goal line yet. The ball is loose. You see the ball is loose, but there was no possession at that time.
And that's one of those situations I understand with the 2 side judges. They weren't able to see the play because of the blockage in the player. So I don't know, how do you make a call? That's a very tough position from the referee when you can't see the angle if he actually crossed the line of scrimmage or not.
Well, either way, it's going to go to Tuskegee. Let's go down to Jay with Coach.
Hey, Coach, I hate to pull you away from a joyous staff here, but I got to grab you for a minute. You've been coaching for a while. Ever been through anything like this?
No, this was really one of the toughest ones I played in a while, and very emotional. Glad to have it. Big play at the end by the defense. Offense played well all day. Kids played well. I love these guys, and You know, it's just an emotional day.
Yeah, and what did you see from your sideline there? You must have been just antsy because you couldn't see. You didn't have a great angle either on that last play. What do you think you saw? What did your players tell you?
Well, you know, I saw him get hit when he was outside. You know, I didn't think he got in. That's what I saw from my angle. But if they called it in, then he fumbled to the end zone, then we got it, then I thought we had it. I was just hoping they wouldn't take it away from us because, you know, I'm not saying nothing against SWAC officials or anything like that, but, you know, I think the SWAC officials did a great job, and I was just hoping that they would call it fair, and they really did, and I'm really proud of them.
And talk about your quarterback, Kevin Huff. What a tremendous run he had to start the overtime.
Well, Kevin Huff does a great job. As I told you yesterday, you know, he's a catalyst to this football team. And without Kevin, and just where I hear Coach Woody, you know, I don't know, you know, some of the things we couldn't get the job done, but we've been able to work together as a team all these years. And I love him to death. And, you know, and so, you know, it just worked out well for us.
All righty, Coach Comagese, Coach Woody, thanks a lot. Congratulations on a great victory. Back to you, Charlie.
213 yards for Mr. Huff, offensive MVP of this game. Chris Dupuis for Alabama State, the defensive MVP of this particular contest. A great Thanksgiving Day, a time for togetherness and offering thanks for all of the blessings that we have. And here's the reaction on the field by Tuskegee after the referee announced that it was going to be a fumble and a recovery by Tuskegee. Keith Moore, our referee. And what a game it's been. And there's Mr. Huff, 213 yards on 24 attempts. He ran for 2 touchdowns. We'll look at the fumble once again. Keldrick Williams, who had already scored twice, trying to get in for the 2-point conversion after his team had pulled it within 1 here in the overtime. And the ball, as you see, comes loose. Here's a look again. Number 2 carrying the ball. Number 2 will pick it up for Tuskegee and bring it back. Now is the ball. Yeah, there it is. Well, as I said, a rough day. There's Mr. Maddox, who got him to this point. Once again, our final score, 28-27, in what has been a fantastic football game here in Montgomery, Alabama. For Jay Walker and Eddie Robinson and all of us here at ESPNU, we hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving Day. And we thank you for spending some time with us. This has been a presentation of ESPNU, the worldwide leader in sports. Coming up next, it's the 2005 Collegiate Bass Championship. Have a continued safe holiday weekend. Good night, everyone.